Like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead and hit that like button, because you already know what time it is, and you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've seen some other people do it well. But what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media, share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, today we are here and we're going to talk about another interesting show, another interesting topic. Quarter zips or a pound of weed. Okay. Yep. Quarter zips or a pound of weed. Yeah, exactly what you see. Yeah, I know some people looked at it and was like, what? What the heck? No, that's exactly what we're here to talk about. Quarter zips or a pound of weed, y'all. Things get real interesting, real fast, in all kinds of interesting ways. But before I go too far into this, first of all, let me take a moment out to, give some shout outs, because there are people who do great things, and I appreciate the great things that they do. First of all, let's say shout out to everybody who gives me consistent views. Okay. Shout out to all the people who come around on a regular basis, give consistent views to the channel. Appreciate y'all big time. It's always good to know that y'all there. Shout out to all the people who hit that like button. Y'all know that's important to the algorithm. It's good to promote the channel. Let somebody else see what needs to be seen. Give them a chance to get on over here like the rest of us. Appreciate the people who do that. I know they got this new thing where you can hype me up. Shout out to everybody hyping me up. It does help. I appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. Okay. All right. So keep on keeping on with that. All right. And I gotta say, shout out to the people who go above and beyond the call of duty, because we got people who are right here and they take a moment out to do something that's unprecedented, they become financial contributors of the channel. And I appreciate them big time. Real talk, y'all. I appreciate them big time. And every little bit helps. So big or small, I do appreciate it all, y'all. Big or small, I do appreciate it all. And I got to say, shout out to what we like to call the sponsor of today's stream. Okay. My main man, Bad Black Gamer, he is the sponsor of today's stream. Appreciate you big time, my brother. Appreciate you big time. Okay. And let me give a few shots to some of the first people to check in this morning. It's always good that when you start a show, you see a few people checking in with you. Always great to see it. And y'all know how it goes around here. As we say, there can only be one. And shout out to Kevin3905, who has become yet again the Highlander of today's stream. When you gonna be a Highlander, y'all? When are you gonna be a Highlander? The only good way the Highlander thing works that I know of. But when you gonna become one? Okay, when you gonna become one? Shout out to Kevin39. Oh, excuse me, the new name, the Great Black Reset. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. Okay, let me say shout out to my main man Trail Bentley, representing as always. Hashtag long live the habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's babies. Hashtag Hail Hydra. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. We got the righteous teacher in the building. Great to have you. Great to have you. We got my main man who helps keep some order around here with his crew. And we gonna get something nice real soon for this. But shout out to Chef Mike's Roundtable and the Pit Crew. Shout out to Chef Mike's Roundtable and the Pit Crew. Real talk, y'all. They do the dirty work over here. Even when I ain't trying to do the dirty work, they step in and they do the dirty work over here. So shout out to those brothers. Shout out to Inspired Truth Broadcast. Great to have you in the building. My main man, Floyd Thompson, is here. Yay. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. We got Dolomite in the house. What's going on, my brother? What's going on? We got the nameless protagonist in the building. Good to see you. Good to see you. Afro Merchant is here. Red Pill Sleeper Cell is in the building as well. And shout out to Capri 10 is in the house. Shout out to all y'all. Shout out to all y'all. Y'all, we gonna talk about this fashion, y'all. We're gonna talk about some fashion. We're gonna talk about a statement a young lady made. We gonna talk about what I'm gonna say, a lot of problematic pieces to what was presented. But hey, shout out to people for trying. That's all I'm gonna say. Shout out to those who try to make the world a better place. And you know what? I just see more people, even though they may not do it in a way that I agree with or think may be as prosperous as it needs to be. Shout out to all the people trying to make the world a better place. So now we got these quarter zips that done hit the news, y'all. Quarter zips done hit the news. Why is the quarter zip hitting the news? Because black men say so. Now, I know that wasn't the answer you was looking for. I know that wasn't what you thought was going to be said. But that's literally what it is, because black men say so. Okay? Now, some black men they done did this thing on social media where somebody said, or somebody, I don't know who was actually the originator, don't know who that was, but it's some black, I know one of the guys who they're crediting, I don't know if he was the actual originator or not, doesn't make a difference to me. Shout out to whoever the originator is, real talk, okay, because he said a thing that caught on, and sometimes it's things you say, sometimes it is the way you say it, sometimes it's a mixture of both, sometimes it's about the comedy of it all, sometimes it's about the situation around what you said. It could be a lot of different things that make something take off. And this particular thing took off, and somebody said that, we wearing the quarter zips now. Okay? We wearing quarter zips. Now, why is this such a thing? Okay? Why do people care that some young black men decide they won't put on some quarter zips? Okay? Why? Okay? Now, I'm going to say there's some things that are going on that are uncomfortable with people. Some of this is conscious. Some of this is very subconscious. Okay? And that's real talk. All right? Now, there was a young lady who complained about this. Now, I'm going to be happy to say, not that I go looking for them all the time. I don't go looking for them all the time. But I'm happy to say this one young lady that I seen her face kind of plastered somewhere everywhere because I seen something she said a little while ago. Then I started seeing videos and everybody was using like this little clip of this one young woman. And you know what I'm gonna say, y'all? The young woman said some very stupid stuff, but this the good news, y'all. You know, sometimes you gotta look for the that silver lining. The good news is she the only idiot or the only person who felt presenting herself like an idiot that I've actually seen thus far, talking down on men wearing quarter zips. Or talking down on black men wearing quarter zips. She's the only dumb person. Okay, at least that's how she wanted to present herself in that particular video, that has made an argument against quarter zips at this particular time. I am not saying she's the only one. I am saying she's the only idiot that I saw elect to voluntarily show the world I can be stupid too. She's the only one I saw do that. Now, I'm going to give her this credit. She does look young. Okay, she's young and dumb enough to still be stupid, and some guys still take on and say, look, we're going to have to clean your image up. We're going to have to get you to start talking right. We can make something happen with you. We can make something happen with you. So I'm going to say, at least for now, thank God, she is the only black woman popping up with all these issues versus black men the way she does. Now, look, I already know she had blonde hair when she was doing it. Yeah, I know that. And y'all got to understand, a lot of women speak from their own perspective. They don't look at the world the way a lot of men can. See, men, we can look at what's going on in our personal life, what's going on in people who are close to us personal life. We can look at what's going on in the news. We can see what's going on with this group of people over here. We can understand these people at this particular church is doing something. These people at this particular synagogue is doing something. These particular people at this march is doing something. These particular people at this corporate industry is doing something. A lot of black women have a hard time seeing beyond themselves. Yes, even when they're talking about black men, they have a hard time seeing beyond themselves. So she took, more than likely, what she feels about herself, what she may feel about women she's close to. That is even other women, but it could be. And she put all that on black men. And she said, basically, y'all trying to, quote unquote, act white. Okay, that's what she said, y'all. That's what she said. Now, shout out to Trey Bentley. He said, not just blonde hair, a blonde wig, Roger. Hey. Look, y'all. Look. Look at this. Yeah, the last thing a black woman should do is accuse a black man of acting white with the blonde on her hair, okay? Whether it was wig, whether it was a weave, whatever kind, that's not what it was. The last thing you should do is talk about they trying to act like white men. Why you got the blonde? Now, at least take the blonde out. Put on a hat. As trifling as it is, put a bonnet on before you jump on social media and say black men are trying to act white. I mean, Lord have mercy. Y'all, this is what they mean by you can't make it up. This is what they mean. Stuff like this right here. You couldn't have made this stuff. If you was a sketch writer, okay, in the world of comedy, you wouldn't have came up with that. Let's just be for real. You wouldn't have came up with that. You know, the people who can come up with stuff that genius, they are set apart. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. All right. People who come up with comedy that genius are set apart. All right. You couldn't have came up with that. You just couldn't have. You couldn't. You didn't have the ability. And I ain't dissing nobody out there, but it's very few people on Dave Chappelle level who could do something like that. Now, Dave Chappelle came up with something like that. Dave was able to do it. But for us normal humans, you can't come up with that type of comedy. You can't do it. You can try, but you can't do it. You had to have somebody give you the idea, okay? Now, this young lady may have never seen that Dave Chappelle skit. And shout out to Clay Bigsby, y'all. Shout out to Clay Bigsby. She probably never seen that one. She just did what she did, I'm sure. She just did what she did. But y'all, she got a problem with young black men dressing the way they want to. Okay? Now, I'm going to say her and, we saw a clip from another channel who said a lot of crazy stuff in their presentation. I ain't going to even lie. A lot of crazy stuff was said in their presentation too. But at least I believe they're trying to help. I can at least say that again. At least I believe they are trying to help. Okay. And if you're trying to help, that's a good thing. Okay. Maybe you don't get it right so quickly, but over time you'll get better. I'm sure. If you really sincerely in your heart are trying to help, you will get better. Okay. But this is the thing, y'all. They say this is like about dressing white. Now, I'm going to let people know black men dressing, as you may say, more casual look, a more sporty look, a more athletic look. All this stuff is basically generally new. I don't know if y'all noticed it, but there was a time period in America where black men were not even considered people for the most part. They were slaves, they were property. When that came to an end, black men dressed in a way to show that they had dignity about themselves. Okay? They dressed in a way to show they were just as serious as anybody else. Never have they looked on any type of clothing and said, I'm trying to dress white. No, black men have dressed appropriate for the scenario that they were dealing with. And just in the last, I'll say maybe, I give it a good 30 years, black men have been able to dress in a more casual way without immediately being harassed. Now, I'm not saying they stopped being harassed. It's just they got harassed for other reasons. I ain't saying it stopped or anything, but it wasn't because of what the clothes they had on. Now, are some of them still dressing in a way where their clothes are getting them basically bothered? Sure. Okay. You got men who are sagging their pants because they agree with prison culture. Okay. Now, some of them may know that this is prison culture. Some of them may not be aware of that it's prison culture because a lot of them are raised by a single mother. Let's just keep that real. Now, a single mother ain't going to tell her son, for the most part, stop dressing like you been to prison and you're offering your butt cheeks to the next man. Most black women would never tell their sons a thing like that. They would prefer their sons to walk around in a style that if you were in prison, it is an invitation for someone to have sex with you. Yes, black women wouldn't have an issue with their black sons being sexually assaulted or even in a consensual sexual relationship with another man. Black women don't have no issue with that. Okay. Now, I understand some people say, well, why are you trying to say something about gay people? No, gay people, they allowed in America. Y'all, don't you know the laws? You could be gay in America. So now the thing is, do you want to be gay? That's the only thing that really comes down to it, because it is legal. You can do it if you want to. Do you want to? You want to be? Because that's on you at the end of the day. That's on you. Okay. So no, it's just is what it is. Okay. Now shout out to Afro Merchant. He says a lot of prison culture spilled over into mainstream society. Well, I mean, let's keep it real. Sometimes things can spill over, but some of the people like what spilled. Let's just keep that real now. Some people like what spill. All right. Things spill all the time. You know, sometimes you like what spilled. All right. Just is what it is. You know, now I did this as a little kid. Maybe some of y'all have. Now, some of y'all may be too dignified to tell the truth on yourself, but I did this as a little kid. Sometimes you got you a cup of juice or something. You got you a cup of juice or something. Maybe a cup of soda. We say pop in Chicago mainly, but I hear it's soda basically around the day. When I go places, I hear soda. Okay, you got you a cup of juice, you got you a cup of pop, you spill your soda. Okay, now you a little kid, what you do? You put your mouth on the table, you try to suck it up because you like what spilled. It is what it is. You wasn't gonna let it get away from you. Now, if you grew up like me, when you didn't have a bunch of replacement sodas, no, you got to suck it up. You got to suck it up. Now, was that the most dignified thing to do as a kid? Probably not. But what kid thinking about dignified this and dignified that? No, you just want your soda, and that's all it is. You only had your money for the one little soda. That's all you had. You let that spill, is over with. Okay. Maybe y'all ain't never had it like me, but if I let this spill off the table, it's over with, man. It's over. So it is what it is. Okay, it is what it is. All right. So sometimes people can, prison culture can spill over, but that don't mean people ain't gonna like it. If you're walking around with your butt with an invitation for other men to have sex with you, I just got to assume that you like it. Because I respect men. See, respect can be dangerous in certain areas. See, I respect men. If you dress that way, I ain't tripping. That's you. Okay? Hey, just because you like to get down like that don't mean I'm going to like to get down. But I do respect your right to give it up to another man. I do respect your right to do it. Okay, I ain't gonna bother you about it. Okay, that's on you at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I ain't participate. That's on you. Okay, it is what it is. So now, this little clip said a lot of little things in it. This young lady said a lot of dumb things in it too. Okay, she was just as dumb as the clip. Well, now I ain't gonna say the clip wasn't just dumb in general, but I'm gonna say there's some very feminized things in that clip. Okay, some very feminized things in that clip. All right. Now, first of all, some young men, they have yet to enter the world of business. They students. Okay, that's what they look like. I'm gonna say what they look like because I don't know their background to say what they are. Okay, they look like students. Okay, they like college students. I saw some younger ones look like some high school kids. I even seen some that look like some grammar school kids. Okay, but at the end of the day, they're young men who aren't necessarily in the grind of life yet. Okay, but let's keep it real. When you're 18 and you are out of high school, there's going to be pressures that come on you as a young man, and the only question is how you going to deal with it. Okay, you got to go into a world and figure out, are you going to go further your education? Are you going to get involved in some type of you're going to go to some type of college or trade school? Are you going to go out there and get you a job? Are you going to go out there and try to start a business? Are you going to go to the military? You got choices that you got to make as a young man in this country in order to be a productive, respectable, functional young man. And that's whether you actually believe in black men's leadership or not. You got choices you got to make. So some young men saw some men that gives off some level of success and said, I want to be like that. And people act like it's a bad thing. One of the smartest things you can do to become successful is to copy the people who are successful. I don't even get it, but see, this is a story because it's about black men. And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Why wouldn't you copy successful people if your goal is to be successful? And that's in whatever you do. If you want to be successful at basketball, why wouldn't you copy someone like a Michael Jordan? Why wouldn't you copy NBA players? Why wouldn't you copy people that do it at a very high level? Now, I'm not saying you can't copy somebody who you have more exposure to, you have more access to, somebody who can teach you things that you don't know yet, such as a coach. You know, you got high school coaches, you got, JV coaches, you got all types of folks. So you copy things that they show you, you learn the lessons that they give you. So what's so different when now it comes to a quarter zip? See, it has nothing to do with European fashion. And I know that's what was said. This got nothing to do with European fashion. This has something to do with what is a way that I can present myself that people take me seriously. And at the end of the day, I can make some money. I want to make money legally. Okay. So some young black men have rejected a look where they can definitely make money illegally and they can better make money legally, because it's not about European fashion. It's about what is acceptable in the world of business. Now, I'm not saying you can't dress the way you want to in the world of business. It just depends on who you are and what you got. Because see, when you own something, you come in there how you want to. Okay, you come in there how you want to. It just is what it is. But if you ain't the owner, you got to dress according to the situation. Now, if you a plumber, yeah, you can come in with your uniform on. You still got to look professional. But you can come in there with a plumber's uniform on. You should be clean, ready to go. You can even put straps on the shirt and everything like the hillbillies did back in the day. We see all of it. You still got to be professional. Yeah, you can still make a bunch of money, but you still got to dress like you at work. See, even if you own your own plumbing company and the name is big, you can't come in there with just some white t-shirt on, some blue khakis on, your stomach hanging out over the belt. Like you don't dress, you still got to dress professionally. So the young men want to present themselves in a more professional manner. Okay. Now, one guy, I don't know if he was the actual beginner or not. I meant to actually put that clip in, but I forgot about it. But a young man was invited to some type of news broadcast. They had a black man, interview him a little bit, small little piece of something. Black man wore the quarter zip on just for the particular story. So he put his quarter zip on too. They talked about it a little bit. Black man say, hey, has dressing differently got you to different places? Is it doing something for you? He said, I'm here. Now, he ain't saying in those words, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, look where I'm at. I'm here right now. I'm here right now. Now, my thing is, hey, bro, that's a good answer. That's a good answer, okay? I'm over here like the Family Feud. That's a good answer, y'all. Clap it up. Good answer. I'm here right now. Now, did the young man say anything about some business he owned or anything like that? No, he didn't. No, he's just dressing the part. He may not be in the business world yet, but that don't mean he won't be in it later. But see, the issue is a lot of people want to take shots at black men. And of course, people want to take shots at young black men's potential. Yep. The words, or the phrase I should say, that a lot of people hate in America is a young black man's potential. Something this country has never appreciated. Let's keep it real. Okay? Something this country has never appreciated. Now, well, I ain't gonna say never appreciated. They have never appreciated in the way that they couldn't exploit it. I'll say that. This country has never appreciated young black men's potential that could not be exploited. See, that we can say. Sometimes you got to clarify things so people know exactly where you're coming from. Do they appreciate young black men's potential that they can exploit? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They just don't appreciate it when they can't exploit it. And that's what's real. So, we got this dumb narrative that they want to be white. Ain't no black man out here in any large numbers talking about they want to be white. That's simple at the end of the day. Don't none of them just about want to be white. Could you find a black man who wants to be white? If you look hard enough, I'm sure you can. And I'm going to say that because there are so many men who've been raised by single mothers. You got to be able to find one. If you look hard enough, you will find a young black man who wants to be white. Why? Because he acts like his mother. And his mother is probably a white supremacist. And what is white supremacy? Anti-black men. That's what white supremacy. That's probably a good 90. I was trying to really figure out what percentage of white supremacy that would really entail. It's got to be about 97%. I'm thinking of being nice to say 97. Truth be told, 97% at least of white supremacy, based on what I can tell, is going to be about being anti-black man. I used to think probably that it was about white people being better, or white people presenting themselves as better. You know, I grew up, I started learning some things. It ain't even about that. It ain't about being better than other people. It's not about being the top person. It's just about being better than black men. Now, a lot of y'all may not have come to that conclusion yet, and it's okay. It's okay if you ain't got there yet. You know, didn't that article say that America lose about $50 billion a year because of their treatment toward black men from a racial context? That's not people who want to be the best. That's just somebody who want to be better than you. So it would be natural that a quarter zip situation where black men start wearing quarter zips would be an issue for a lot of people. Okay? A lot of people gonna take issue with this. There's a lot of people who already taken issue with this. Okay? Now, the thing is, do you want the young men looking for quarter zips, or you want them looking for a pound of weed? Which one you want? Now, I'm gonna say when it comes to black women, yes, they would prefer the young black men were looking for a pound of weed. See, and why did I say pound of weed? Because you know there's interest in distributing the weed. And I know some of y'all may be like, well, ain't weed legal in a lot of places? No. They make a lot of variations on how it can be legal and what you got to do to be legal. And they made sure that when they figured out how we gonna make weed legal, that more than likely the average black man who sells weed would not fit into that profile. Now, do you have some black men that are advocates of weed or have been advocates of weed for a long time? Did they jump in? Sure. You know, somebody like a Snoop Dogg, yeah, he jumped in. But Snoop rich. But yeah, Huey them, Larry them, you know, Devon them, Maurice them, you know, all them guys around the corner that you call when you looking for a little something. No. We ain't gonna let you niggas get in. No, I'm not legal weed. Y'all? No way in the world we gonna let you little niggas be able to sell this legally. No. You can sell it illegally, but you cannot. You're not gonna sell it legally. Okay? And that's just real talk. Okay? So people gonna have a problem with the quarter zips. And let's keep it real, y'all. There's a lot of people trying to discourage these young black men from wearing a quarter zip because they would prefer them not to. Okay? Shout out to Trail Bentley, y'all. Y'all be like Trail in a lot of ways. But when you're young, you can't do everything Trail do. I'm gonna tell you this. You ain't got enough. You ain't put enough investment in life yet to do what Trail do sometimes. He said, I smoke wearing my quarter zip. Don't do it. Don't pull that one, y'all. If the young man hear this, Trail done put in a lot of years, y'all. Don't do this one, okay? Don't do this one. Oh. Now, This is the thing. Shout out to MMR Enterprises, man. I appreciate what you're saying, y'all. I appreciate what he's saying. I'm throwing it on the screen. Real talk, y'all. He said your eyes can be closed and it's raining and dark outside. You don't miss the Roger Report Live. Hey, I shout out to you, brother, for that. Shout out to you, brother, for that. I definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Real talk, y'all. Yeah. And if y'all, if you ain't made it past 50, if you got your quarter zip on, leave that weed alone, okay? Leave that weed alone. If you 50, you may know how to navigate well enough to do what Trail do. But Trail don't put his time in, y'all. Trail don't put his time in, okay? Sometimes the young folk got to leave some of that stuff for the older folk because the older folk know how to move, okay? You just ain't got that experience yet. You ain't got enough quick wit yet. I ain't saying you ain't gonna get it. But be careful how you move out there. But see, y'all, there is a thing where a lot of people gonna say this is y'all are being anti-black because they don't want you to better yourselves. Now, can a black man dress any way he wants to and still succeed? Absolutely. But there are things that we all can do to put stuff in better probability of success. And that's just what comes with it at the end of the day. Do you want to put yourself in a better probability of success? Because it's all probable. You know, do black men got what it takes to succeed? Absolutely. Okay, but you still got to deal in a world that's anti-you. So, you know, do you want a strong possibility or do you want a not so strong possibility? That's on you at the end of the day. All right. Now, the quarter zip is just another professional look. That's all it is. What's the big deal if a black man wear? So now you can't tell white criminals from black ones? Is that what it is? Did that subconsciously start affecting people? Well, if young black men are wearing quarter zips, how we gonna be able to distinguish these crooks from our white crooks? Because our white crooks can wear quarter zips and everything's fine. They can do crime at a much higher level. They can take more money at one shot. They can clean out people's bank accounts. They can, attack your 401k. They can do all kinds of stuff. But see, they might be wearing a quarter zip. So if the young black men start wearing quarter zips, are we going to have two different types of criminals dressing the same? Now, I understand subconsciously people going to think stuff like that. And their reactions are going to come out the way they are because those are subconscious thoughts they have. Because a lot of people, we don't really acknowledge white collar crime, as they call it. Okay, we don't really acknowledge white collar crime. And then we make up excuses that if it's a white collar crime and a white man did it, then for some reason it's supposed to be seen as okay. You know, they ain't really do nothing that wrong. They ain't really hurt nobody. We supposed to regard it as something different. Okay. Now, me personally, I regard it as something different, but not the way they want me to regard it. I regard it as the crime it is. And matter of fact, it's the worst crime because you're doing more harm to more people at the same time. That's what it looked like to me. Okay. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like you're doing more crime to more people, more victims at a shorter period of time. If anything, it's crime efficiency. Now, efficiency works out well in a lot of places, but crime should not be the place that we should be rooting for efficiency. And that's just real talk. Okay. Shout out to Dolomite. He say, how dare y'all try to raise the standard? Because y'all trying to make us look bad when we're going in the opposite direction on our image. We're not about to allow y'all to be great, young black men. Shout out to Dolomite. And that's the sentiment that's really out there, y'all. That's the sentiment that's out there. Wait a minute. These niggas trying to improve their image? Who told these niggas to do that? A lot of people probably got on the phone. Who told these niggas to do this? Who told these niggas to do this? Now, I'm going to tell you this. Like I said, I forgot to include a clip, but they credited some guy is he may be the original guy. I'm not honestly sure if he's the original guy to do something with a quarter zip, but his thing is the one that caught on. Now, I'm going to tell you, y'all, why would they go through the trouble of trying to find who's the originator? Because there was some very uncomfortable people in some somewhat powerful situations that made some phone calls, I'm sure. No. Find out where these niggas got this idea from. Who told these niggas to do this? And I know I'm saying it in a way that y'all could take as funny. Y'all could take it as satire if you want. No. Why do they need to know where this came from? Okay. That's people looking for potential threats. I'm telling you what it is. That's people looking for potential threats. So you know what I just said? How about young black men's potential not being appreciated unless it can be exploited? Ain't nothing changed, y'all. Ain't nothing changed. Who started this? Who told these niggas to do this? And that's all it is. Now, I don't know if the guy they found was the originator. I'm not going to say he is. I'm not going to say he's not. All I'm going to say is at least he presented himself as being too naive to know that that's what's going on with him. And maybe he just don't know. And maybe he don't need to know right now. But if he does know, I think it's smart for him to present himself as if he don't know. Because they just looking for who could be a potential threat. Why would you make enough phone calls to find who started some quote unquote movement? Or even if you try to reduce it down to like they were doing, to say it's just a trend, why is it important for you to know who started it? If you ain't trying to support the movement, what you need to know who started it for? But let me go ahead and give it to the Great Black Reset because he is here. You got the mic, my brother. How you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing excellent. My first initial uh response to that first video was praise God, praise God. Yes sir, yes sir. I love to see these young boys doing this. And for any young fellas listening to this, when I say young, 30 or younger, man, don't let nobody, especially if they in the yellow wig, yellow gold wig, talking about you trying to be white. Don't let nobody tell you nothing. Man, y'all keep going forward. This is what we're talking about, separating yourself. Separating yourself. This is what we're talking about. These young fellas are saying, no. That what y'all thought was going on, that ain't what's happening. That what used to be for this older generation, that ain't what we doing. We trying to be business-like. We trying to be successful. And we going to imitate it till we get it. Man, I'm so proud of these young fellas, man. I want them young fellas to keep going forward. And one thing that's been true about men, especially black men, we always want to see the youth do better than us. We always want to see the next generation do better than we did. Man, I applaud these young fellas with this new trend, and I want it to become a lifestyle. And what we're seeing in this,
not trend,
yeah,
movement. It's a movement.
I'm sorry.
They deemed it a movement. Other people trying to make it a trend. But go
this
ahead.
this new movement, and what we're seeing is the rebuttal from that particular woman is we finna lose our pookies. We finna lose our pookies. If they're gonna be about something, if they see themselves as valuable, if they see themselves as presentable, they're gonna want to raise their standards for the type of women they're gonna want and desire. That means we can't go out and be as ratchet as we want. We can't be as loose as we want. We can't be as naked as we want in public. No, brothers, keep going, bro. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Praise God. Keep going. We're going to church today. You hear me? Church. And I land my plane right there.
Now, I'm gonna say, well said, my brother, well said. And y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all it's the movement because black men said so. Other people, even the women, they trying to reduce it to trend. And I know why you said that because you just looking at what was presented. But no, the black men said it was a move. And what black men say goes. That's simple at the end of the day. So And why is this an issue? Because I understand that, when you talk about stuff that's going on online, there's things they call challenges and there's things they're called trends, and the movement is bigger than both of those combined. Now, this is just lifestyle change. That's what they talking about. They're not talking about doing something so they can celebrate on social media for a week or two, even a month or two. No, they talking about lifestyle change. I'm going to present myself as best as I can because it's going to help me get to where I'm trying to go just a little bit faster. Now, my thing is, why is that so bad? If I'm trying to win a race and I figure out how to get my time down, why wouldn't I do it? Ain't that the whole point of the race? To complete it as quickly as possible? Ain't that the very definition of the race? I'm going to complete this thing as quickly as I possibly can. And we all hear about the rat race, which means what? I want to get out as quick as I can. And a lot of folks look at it all kinds of ways. I'm not knocking nobody for however you look at it, but the job is to make it out. Okay. Now there's gonna be some people who just love what they do so much they just never gonna leave. But for the vast majority of us, the goal of the rat race is to get out of it. And that's just real talk. Okay. Or at least be able to afford to leave whenever you want to walk away. Shout out to Barry Sanders. Why? One of the greatest ever to do what he did. One of the greatest running backs in the NFL. Never got a championship, but he gave defenses the flux week after week after week. And 10 years, he just walked away. Now, why Barry walk away? Because he could. Barry knew he put his best foot forward. Now, you can say all kinds of stuff about Detroit lost. Detroit did this. They didn't do this or whatever. You can't blame Barry for none of it. Barry gave them what they needed, and they couldn't figure out how to take advantage of it. So who was bad? Was Barry Sanders bad, or was the Detroit Lions organization bad? If you got to make a choice, it just seems a lot smarter to pick the Detroit Lions. Hey, this ain't no knock on Detroit. Somebody had to get caught up in the story of Barry Sanders. It is what it is. But that man gave y'all his career. Y'all did what y'all wanted to do with it. It is what it is. Not my fault. Okay. See, a black man can be great in any situation. Now, unfortunately, the Lions got to be beat up on a little bit with this. A black man can be great in any situation. You can be a failure, but that black man can still stand out. Meaning what, y'all? You could be in a poverty situation, but you can still stand out. Every black man can stand out. Now, maybe other groups of people can't really say that, but every black man can stand out. We all that have had that ability to do it in some kind of shape, way, and form. And all I'm saying is these young men are seeking how to stand out, and they're going to do it a little bit quicker than other folks. That's what's going to happen. This ain't about trying to be no white man. This is about how do I stand out, and how do I become my best self, and how do I do it quicker. So if you start doing something that you think is the right move when you're younger, it's just going to get you to the right move if it's not the right move, or it's going to ingratiate you in that right area a lot quicker. You literally can't lose. And I think people seeing black men take on conduct that shows they can't lose, it's off-putting to Americans. I'm going to say it like that. It's very off-putting to Americans. Even the women. Now, there were some women who were shown that, quote unquote, supported. Now, my thing is, I don't believe women support anything good for black men until I see your husband. See, that's my standard. You tell me black men are doing something and you with it, show me your husband so I can see if you support it or not. Show me your husband. Because if you ain't got no husband, I don't think you want the best for black men. I think it's the idea you're playing with, but when you really lock down and get serious about it, you're going to marry a black man, and he's going to be respectful, productive, functional, and he's going to believe in black men's leadership. And that's just real talk. Okay, so what's your husband look like? Now, y'all playing with me on the likes now. Y'all, it's 86 folks watching. Even if it's your first time here, you have now discovered the best show on social media. Go on, hit that like button. Stop playing. Don't make me come out from up here and show up at your crib, okay? Hit that like button, real talk. All right, now we got another guest up here, so I'm gonna go ahead and give him the mic, see what he gonna do with it. Kryptonians versus KK Keishas. You have the floor.
The Keishas got it. They got it.
Okay, yeah, maybe in the middle of something, and that's all right. Okay,
Can you hear me?
okay, there you go. Yeah, we hear you.
All right. Good morning, Roger.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning. Just a nigga named Kevin.
What's happening? What's happening?
Yeah, come on, man. We keep it a quarter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I want to congratulate them young brothers for making it to the Kryptonians Academy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, welcome to the academy. You know what I mean? They finally joined the academy. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome, welcome. We've been waiting on you. So I love the movement. Look good, dress good, smell good. You know, don't mind the quarter zip. They still can't have that power tool on them. You know what I'm saying? Don't let the quarter zip fool you. No smooth criminal out here. Don't take no spot from nobody, even from Keachers. Keachers can get that work too. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love to see them brothers improving themselves. And guess who was triggered? Their biggest haters. And I'm here to tell you right now, gentlemen, your biggest hater is not the wah man. Is not the wah woman. It's the snake that's laying right next to you. She can be called your mama. Her name can be your sister. Or
Reach.
worst, your wife. Your biggest hater is her. She don't want to see you improve, my brother. How dare you want to dress well? How dare you not dressed in street attire like a vulgar Pookie Ray Rail, little neck bone, two pump mic, little shoddy? Yeah. You try to improve yourself. Next thing you know, what's next? You're gonna try to learn to speak better. You're going to articulate yourself up. You're trying to be somebody. And guess who's trying to drag you down? Yep, Ku Klux Keishas. Mm, 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 mm. And you thought she was your friend. Mm? That snake laying right next to you is gonna be the first one to bite you. She's gonna be the first one to put that venom in you. Who's the first woman who told you that you ain't gonna be shit? Your mama.
Mm,
Who's
mm.
the first woman who disparaged you from starting that business? Your wife. Who's the first woman who made you regret putting all that sweat and tears in this world? Your daughter, your wife. So before you start worrying about the wah man, you better worry about them Ku Klux Keishas. Because where I'm from, there's a proverb that says, the little piece of wood that you didn't see is gonna be the one that ends in your eyes. And I'll end my plane right here.
All right, all right. Now, why did people get uncomfortable with black men wearing quarter zips? Why is this a story, y'all? See, there's things going on in people's head and in people's hearts where it's just really bothering them. These dudes didn't even do anything for real. Like now, shout out to them because there is a display of power, and I'm gonna tell you what's going on, y'all. This is part of why people are so uncomfortable with this because black men are doing something and other people are following. And the thing is, they're in natural order. A lot of people do not want this to be a natural order thing. And I'm gonna say I suspect because I didn't see who made these comments. Well, we can't have nothing for ourselves. I expect that's a woman. I hope to God it's a woman. I hope it ain't no dude because you definitely need to get away from your mama if you talk like that on social media. Okay, the people who said those type of comments, we can't have nothing for ourselves. No, 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 no. See, black men are supposed to be comfortable in front. Everybody's supposed to follow us. But I know there's a lot of black folks, y'all been fed this white supremacy stuff so much. You've been fed this anti-black man stuff so much. You don't think you're supposed to lead other people. Why wouldn't you follow me? That's my question. Okay, I don't have a question that a lot of people would have. You know, if they follow me, why are they following me? No. I'm never going to ask why are they following me. I'm going to ask why wouldn't you follow me? Now, see, that helps in a lot of different ways. When I say why wouldn't you follow me, I can self-examine with a question like that and say, you know what? Let me do this. Let me fix myself up this way. Let me change this habit. And see, now I can improve myself. But I can also say it in a different context. Why wouldn't you follow me? As in, wait, I'm presenting the best stuff out here. If you're going to follow somebody, why wouldn't it be me?
Yeah.
But is America going to be comfortable with black men out front?
Shameless
So,
plug right quick.
what's that?
I said shameless
He said
plug.
shameless plug.
Okay, shameless plug. Go ahead.
We got the best show on social media. Why aren't you trying to follow us? Why aren't you not subscribed to the Roger Report Live? Huh?
Hey, shout out to you for that one. Hey, my stamp of approval is all over that. Real talk. My stamp approval all over that. Hey, and that's just what it is. I'm supposed to be out front. Now I don't even saying my show is the best show on social media. That's not something I'm playing with. No, I'm serious about this. That's why my content is so great. If you don't know, or if you knew, you can go back and check previous episodes. That's literally the reason why my content is so great, because I'm supposed to be the best. I'm a black man putting a show on social media, okay, where I put black people first. Yeah, this is a black-centric show. Other people are welcome, but it's black-centric. Because why wouldn't we revolve around black? I don't get why we would. Okay, so I'm not shocked that other people follow us, and I don't know what it is about Black American people, why people are so interested in us around the world. I really haven't really truly come to that conclusion yet that I'm willing to say publicly, but I ain't surprised. Plus, I expect if you're gonna follow somebody, why not me? So I don't even see it as something wrong, and that's not me being arrogant. That's just me saying, well, if I had to make a choice, why not choose me? That makes sense to me. So when they had a video, they showed the little clip of the video where the white guys was out there doing the things that the black guys was doing, or their version of it. Ain't that to be expected? That's how I looked at it. People saying, well, oh, we can't have nothing for ourselves. No, when you're this good, other people want to share. But the issue is people can't look at young black men and say, oh, they the best. And it comes out in how you treat things. I'm not saying people are deliberately trying to necessarily push them down, but what's in your heart gonna come out your mouth. Oh, we can't have nothing for ourselves. Why are you saying something like that? Why don't you expect black men to be copied? Everybody gonna copy something. Until you have an original idea, everything else is copied. Why wouldn't you be the thing that's copied? That's what I expect. I remember being a little kid in school, y'all. I told y'all before, I used to get A's in grammar school just because I was told that that's what we supposed to do. Okay, it wasn't nothing tricky about it. My mama told me y'all should be getting A's because y'all ain't got nothing to do. All y'all got like little chores around the house. You ain't got no jobs. I don't understand how y'all can't get A's. You know what I'm saying? Now my mama said that. Now my mama's a married woman. I got to answer to my mama and my daddy. So if my mama tell me something like that, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go get some A's. That's what I'm gonna do. Just is what it is. Okay. Now I'm at school. I'm putting my best foot forward to be the best student I can be. Okay. You know what I had a problem with? Somebody getting an A faster than me. That was problematic for me, y'all. I'm just tell you what it is. I had a problem with that. Because I was with the smart kids. I got put into the gifted classes and all that type of stuff. So it's a bunch of other people smart too. And you know what? And a lot of the students I was in grammar school with, we ended up in the same classes year in, year out. A good little chunk of us. We ended up in the same class year in, year. Y'all know what we had an issue with? Not getting the A the quickest. Like that literally turned into a thing for us. Not only did we want an A on every single assignment, we wanted the A faster than the other guy got the A. And I'm literally talking about we would race through homework, we would race through schoolwork, because we would be at school knocking out homework before we even left school sometime. We racing with this stuff because we want the A faster than the other guy. And that's real talk. So I expect that if you do something positive, you're supposed to be followed. Why is that a bad thing? But see, when that's not in your heart about young black men, you will say things like, well, we can't have nothing. No, they supposed to copy everything we do. You know, I've said before in past shows about leading white men. You know, we talked about things dealing with we were having a conversation about it had something to do with custody at the time, like custody of children. And what people can do. And we as black men, we got to learn to work with these white men. No. These white men got to learn to follow us. We know their record. If they do it, it's going to be corrupt. No, just teach them to follow us. If they serious about trying to make changes, if they follow our lead, everything will work out fine. If we follow their lead, it's not going to work out fine because that's just their track record. It just is what it is. You know, can't none of us go change history. So now, if some young black men want to dress like what they see as success, and this is the thing, y'all, who said they even looking at white men? These young men are looking at success. There are plenty of black men who have been successful, who've been on TV. They've been on the sports shows. They've been in the news show. Do y'all watch the news? Do y'all never see black men? That's my thing. Do y'all never see these successful black men? And do y'all not focus on the black men more than you focus on all these other people? I watched a lot of different folks when I grew up in Chicago who've been on even just the news. Y'all, if you ask me what name's gonna come up first with a news broadcaster, it's gonna be Lester Holt. Why would it be Lester Holt? Lester was black. Who I remember first? Now, I'm not saying I can't necessarily remember some of them other people's names. You ask me about a woman, it's gonna be Cheryl Burton. Black woman. Now, if you put a gun to my head, I'm sure I could come up with somebody else's name, but I'm coming up with my own first. So why would I assume that these young black men are looking at anybody other than black men? I'm thinking they looking at us first. And y'all know what this is? It's simply a rejection of I ain't got to do what mom and them talking about. That's all it is at the end of the day. I hear mom and them, but I got to grow up and be an actual man in the world one day.
No, we ain't gonna deliver that softly, sir. This is young black men rejecting degeneracy. This is them rejecting the addiction to degeneracy from the generation before them. This is an outward expression of, no, I saw my mama on OnlyFans. I saw my mama shaking ass on the Instagram. I saw my mama shaking ass and twerking on the internet for views and likes. I didn't like that. I saw Negroes out here holding guns up on the gram and all this other kind of stuff. I saw that. I didn't like that. I'm rejecting that. These brothers are rejecting degeneracy for productivity.
Absolutely.
That's what this is.
I'm with you 100%. And I'm going to say shout out to the late, great Stuart Scott. Real talk. Shout out to Brian Gumble. Okay. Shout out to Ahmad Rashad. Like, we done had plenty of black men to look at. Okay. A shout out to Sirius Rod. He said they're rejecting the prison, I'm gonna say the school to prison pipeline. Okay, that's what he's referring to. Real talk.
Yeah.
And my thing is, ain't that what they supposed to be doing? People always want to say what black men are supposed to be doing. Ain't this what they supposed to be doing? But the elder has popped up, so I'm gonna go ahead and give him the mic immediately. Black Guru, you have the flow, my brother.
Hey, thanks for having me, Roger. Hope you and the gentlemen on the panel are doing well. This is a subject that's somewhat, I guess, near and dear to my heart in a way. You know, you're talking about somebody who's been quarter zipping since the 80s, right? You know, in fact, I was teasing my daughter about that a couple of days ago. I said, well, the quarter zip is in style now amongst the young brothers. You know, it's like, yeah, you've been wearing quarter zips my whole life. It's true. So it's about damn time that good fashion finally comes back around.
Pull that old name out the closet, sir.
Yeah. You know, I got wearing a gray quarter zip right now. Very comfortable. And you know, to me, in Chicago in particular, perfect attire, especially for this time of year. Perfect winter or pre-winter attire. So no, I'm a big quarter zip fan. And you mentioned as far as the image of black men, Roger, and you mentioned late great Stuart Scott and a few other brothers. But there's another late great brother we have to give credit for this, and I think he is to a material degree an inspiration for it. I think Kevin Samuels. I think this is the legacy of Kevin Samuels
Come on,
because
bro.
he talked a lot about appearance and about dress and style and clothing and imagery. He was an image consultant. He believed very much in using image to, you know, sort of turn the minds against a lot of the negativity that's directed towards black men in particular. So, um, look, while I am suspicious of how much of an impact image can be, because I think to some degree, especially in dealing with white people. Well, I'll put it this way: to the extent that dressing yourself will make you feel a certain kind of way about yourself and about what you think you're supposed to do in the world, I think that's wonderful. I think that's fantastic. I very much promote that. I'm just suspicious of believing that it will really impact a lot of the hatred that people have towards black men, because I think it's like, you know, an ever moving target for us where there's always some reason or some justification to hate on black men. They'll hate on you for one reason, and then they'll hate on you for the exact opposite reason. And that's kind of manifesting here, where they hated on brothers for sagging and white tees and whatever. And then now they're hating on the young brothers for wearing Dockers and quarter zips. So I just, as long as we're careful not to make too much of how others might perceive it, but to the extent that it promotes good self image and self esteem and motivation, I think it's a wonderful thing.
Now I'm gonna say real talk, because I was gonna mention this. I'm gonna say shout out to black men of social media. Do I think Kevin Samuels was included? Yeah, I do believe he was included. But I think this is black men responding to black men being on social media, because a lot of stuff was controlled before social media, and you really didn't hear from black men. The only black men you could hear from was white supremacy approved black men. And you rarely get a brother an opportunity to say anything if white supremacy had to approve his appearance. Because I mean, even someone like what's my man, Nation of Islam? uh, his name slipping. The leader of the Nation of Islam right now. Yeah.
Farrakhan.
Farrakhan. Now, even Farrakhan has been on TV. So he was white supremacy approved to go on there. But they like to have him in short stints where he can't really say too much. So social media done changed things where black men could get out there and give our real impressions about things, whether you liked them or didn't like them. So I think America is dealing with the fact that black men are having influence in a way that America has yet to be able to find out how to truly control. And no matter how much stuff they do to, try to buffer or to eliminate us or whatever the case is, some stuff just gets out. So I'm not gonna say it's a Kevin Samuels thing. It's just a black men of social media thing. Not taken away from him because I think he is a big part of it, but I think this is it's just people are changing because young black men are starting to really hear what other black men got to say about stuff. And they starting to figure out that no, black men ain't clowns. I see black men every day on social media talking about all kinds of stuff, doing all kinds of stuff, owning all kinds of stuff, improving all kinds of stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what everybody sees on social media, but I see black men doing all kinds of stuff. Shout out to Kevin Sam for being the image consultant. A lot of folks do talk about relationships, and I'm not saying they shouldn't, because from a relationship standpoint, the black community does need help. And that's just real talk. And if they mean well, they may stumble into doing some better content. But there's also people with businesses, there's also people with jobs, and they are showing a whole lot of stuff being done on social media. So you can actually grow up and get a whole different image than what white supremacy wanted you to have. You now have competing content because white supremacy got something for you. But now
Well,
you don't have to it don't have to just be that. Go ahead.
in conjunction to what you were saying, see, when we were growing up in the late '70s, early '80s, like you said, it was all white supremacists approved. It was the gangster rap and whatever it is they want to put in front of us, right? And then coming into the early 2000s is whatever they wanted to put on reality TV for us, and the housewives of this and the housewives of that. So they put a whole bunch of garbage in front of us, which led our youth to follow garbage. um, Platforms like YouTube and so forth with social media, now everybody can put what they want to put out there. And then what these young folks are seeing, the more successful brothers are the brothers that are well spoken and well dressed. And they're realizing, oh, this was some foolishness.
Yeah.
Hey, I
Yeah,
definitely
and
know.
I think we have finally hit a sort of critical mass of fatigue of the thug gangster culture. I mean, it's been over 30 years now, close to 35 years now, where that had taken the preeminent position in the popular culture. I mean, I guess you go back to Deep Cover and the Chronic album or whatever, where it really kind of, I mean, there was, prior to that, you had NWA, but NWA was only a part of a much more colorful and diverse genre of music. It didn't dominate hip hop in the 80s. It was a part of it. But you had so many other elements of hip hop that were just as popular, if not even more popular. But like I say, around when that Chronic album hit, that kind of pretty much turned everything into a darker perspective, a little more sober perspective of music, black music and black life, and that's kind of been the overriding tone ever since, and that was highly marketed by people outside of the community. And I'm not necessarily blaming Dre or Snoop or whatever who were sort of at the vanguard of that. I mean, I think they were just doing what they knew to do. It just happened to coincide, unfortunately, with the interests of some other people who used it or other reasons and other motives. So, but I won't want to go too deep into that. But going back to my original point, I do think we're moving into a stage now where there's a fatigue of the last 30 odd years. And I do think there's going to be more of a movement away from that, if for no other reason, but just people are kind of tired of it at this point. And it's being reflected in their lessening of the popularity of hip hop now.
And I'm gonna say shout out to Kanye West. Not that he was the only guy, but he was one of the bigger guys that came out the game and said, "Nah, you ain't got to be no gangster. You could just rap." He made that popular, but at least he helped to make it popular. I ain't saying he was the only one. So shout out to Lupe Fiasco. There's plenty of people I can name, but I ain't gonna get into that. What I'm gonna do is give Shark Sims a flow because he is here. Go ahead, Shark. How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's up, fellas? You can hear me good?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
sound
can hear you.
muffled.
You
We can
you
hear
muffled,
you.
yeah. You muffled. We can hear you.
Yeah, good might be
Right?
a stretch.
Don't mind me. I'm out in the field right now, so I just wanted to jump on. But thanks, Roger, for having me up. I just want to say from the angle of when you look good, you when you look good, you feel good, and when you feel good, you do better. And it's a real true thing. I remember in New York on the club scene when they stopped you from wearing hats, you couldn't wear baseball hats and you couldn't wear sneakers and you had to literally go in there with shoes on. And you know what? The amount of fights that happened in there, it drastically was different. The amount of knuckleheads that went in there, they changed their whole persona when they went inside. Like people were acting regular, not too much crazy stuff going on. But then when you go to the spots that we call hood spots where you can wear hoodies and etc. It's a whole different environment. So I'm glad these young boys are starting to realize, you know what, you can look alright. You can look like you're doing something with your life and still be cool. You know what I mean? And I think Kev was saying they tired of they got this from they was tired of seeing their mothers and this and this and that. I think it's they don't want the females that other style attracts. You know what I'm saying? So if you're looking like a hood nigga, you're gonna get the hood chick or the hood chick who's dressed up as a Beyonce, but you don't want none of that. So they trying to, I think they changed the whole thing up. So I definitely gotta give them a big shout out to that, and hopefully they can keep it up. But this isn't the first time it's happened, but it seems like every time it happens, white supremacy or the media or whoever's in control of something, they'll find a way to knock it down. You know what I mean? So hopefully we can keep this they could keep it up. But I do remember when Kevin was telling us as grown men the same thing. You had a lot of men arguing with him, like, no, I could keep my dreads, but bro, like, if you don't put anything into your image, you already know you look like a knucklehead. The whole world is gonna look at you as a knucklehead. The first thing they see is what they see. You know what I mean? Then it's gonna take time for them to see who's behind it. So why not just give a good presentation from the beginning? And I'll end it right there because I got background. Sorry about that.
Nah, it's
Hey,
all
Shark,
good. It's all good.
Shark, you remind me of you said something that I think Dion said it a little bit better. He said,
Yep,
Deion Sanders said, when you look good, you play good. He
that's
said,
right.
when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you play good. When you play good, they pay good.
That's right. That's right.
Hey,
Shout out to Prime
yeah,
Time.
that's
Shout out
real
to the
talk.
great Deion Sanders.
Right. A living legend over here at the Roger Report Live. One of our living legends. Real talk. And we gonna give Shark the girl treatment today, y'all. When Shark
Huh?
unmutes his mic, we gonna all be quiet to make sure he can be heard. Okay? We gonna get him the
Oh,
female treatment
wow.
today.
The female
Shark, I'm
treatment.
just
Oh, wow. You got to get your mic right, bro. You got to get your mic right.
You could have gave me the Uber, but you gonna say the girl treatment. You might be right about
no, I'm just messing with you. I mean, we will do that for the
that.
females. We will do that for the female, but I'm just messing with him, y'all. Shark, know he good people. I rock with Shark. Real talk. Uh,
Yeah.
Truth teller, you got the flow, my brother. You got the flow.
Oh, this is amazing, everybody. The young men are catching on. The loveliness of what's going to happen next. Oh, It makes my soul warm. My God. I don't know if y'all noticed, but the hoes who can't catch up had a problem with this. And you know how you know they can't catch up? Because look how they looked in their videos. You think she can go out with a man dressed like that and she's dressed like this and they can be together out in public? Do y'all really think that could happen? These brothers, they know how they look. They look at the lady next to them and say, yeah, you can't come with me like this. And if she pushes back, you ain't my lady no more. I gotta go. This is going to be a problem for women who think they're good enough the way they are, which is where the environmental change is going to happen. And as you can see, these hoes already pushing back, and these are young men. These these ain't even men. These are like teenagers and 13, 14-year-olds talk about they got these quarter zips in this teeth. Now, granted, I'm an older gentleman. I've been working in white collar America for a long time. I've graduated this area many moons ago, but I am happy to see the progression. I don't rock quarter zips. That's below me. But I'm glad these young men are stepping out of these hoodies and sneakers. I appreciate it. You making good moves. You'll graduate to something else as we go. A couple of them had cardigans on. Y'all better learn what those are, because that's going to be the next move. And then after that, they're going to put on them turtlenecks. And then after that, they're going to put on them collars. It's going to be great. It's going to be an amazing show. As a almost elder, I just want to sit back and watch and enjoy myself. Where that popcorn at, y'all? Where is the popcorn? It's gonna be great.
I have a mandate for the brothers. Man, when you brothers are out and about and you see one of these young brothers present themselves this way, embrace that young brother. Let that young brother know out loud that you're proud of him, that you appreciate him. Let them brothers know personally that you appreciate them brothers, man. We want to see more of this.
Well, fun fact. You got them creatures who are out here attacking them young Kryptonians, man. They just made it into the academy. They are not even like the others, like Black Widow or me. I mean, they're attacking these young at a young age. Because they came to realize that they can't get at the Stephen Kryptonian like me, and they try to corrupt these youngins, man. They try to take away them them young students of the academy. That don't make sense. Let's do this instead. Let's flip the table. Let's have a challenge. 1 week without twerking for Ku Klux Keisha. Can you do that? Can they do that? One
I
week
said, man,
without
you
wigs.
must you must want them disappearing numbers to increase. You crazy? They can't go a week without twerking.
1 week,
I,
1 week without wigs, man. Let's just try this. 1 week without wig.
you
One
trying to
week,
keep
just
him in the house?
1 week.
Yeah, he
You
trying to keep
asking
him.
you asking for too much.
Yeah,
You asking.
no,
Huh?
you asking for them to stay in the house.
Okay, okay, fine, 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 fine.
If
Okay.
you want them to come outside, you're gonna need a different request.
Let me ask them one thing. I think they should be able to do that. 1 week without them Freddy Krueger nails.
Nah.
I mean, those are great ideas.
Mm.
The only
We can't
way
have that.
something like that can happen, you can the man have to ask his woman. It's got to be his woman. Can you do a week without that? And now that's gonna be a price he's gonna have to pay right there alone. you know. But y'all, I do want to get in Red Pill Superstars because he's here. So let me say, first of all, shout out to the Great Black Reset. He hit me with the $5 for the on the Cash App, and I appreciate it, my brother. He said quarter zip tax. Appreciate that big time. Appreciate that big time. Y'all, I don't even have no quarter zips, but I might go out and grab some just to support these young men. Wintertime is coming up in Chicago anyway. So ain't nothing wrong with a quarter. I know us Truth Teller doesn't distinguish himself. He say quarters is beneath him. So I ain't gonna wear it for Truth Teller. But I'm gonna get a couple just to support the young men's movie. Okay.
You can't listen to him. That Negro came up here and said eating that roof Chris is beneath him. That nigga live on Pluto somewhere, man. You can't listen to him.
Well, it's always one of them. They say it's always one. So I can't. I can't live up the truth to understand. But I but but I just run behind the car, y'all. I can't jump on this bandwagon. I just run behind it. Okay.
Just let,
Let's get
let me touch let me touch the hem of his garment so I can just feel better about myself.
exactly.
All right, well, you have to come over to the Cashmere side of the fence, player, if you want to do that.
All right, let's let Red Pill Sleeper Cell get in here, y'all. Let's let him get in here. Red Pill Sleeper Cell, you got the mic, my brother. Oh man, what happened? I was putting them in the solo layout.
Hello?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Salute everybody. Salute. It's a case of what's old is new and what's new again. All I gotta say is welcome to the party. Come on in. I love it when young black men we got our shit together. So if you look at my picture there, that's from like 15 years ago. So come on in. And young lads, let's make the sweater vest popular again. Fuck it. Everything of style, nothing of degeneracy. I love it. I love it.
I would say well said and quite the way to come in. He upholding the dress code, y'all. He upholding the dress
He
code.
sure is. He sure is.
Real talk, real talk. Okay, oh my bad, my bad. Cause somebody just came up. You got the mic. I gotta see who it was now. I done, who was new? Who came in?
No
Okay, boom.
placeholder.
There we go. No placeholder. You got the mic, my brother. You got the mic. My bad.
Don't worry about it, Roger. What's going on?
Hey man, everything's good, brother. About to go give me a quarter zip.
Roger, I got a closet full of that. I got a closet full of quarter zip. I was just about to say, this is my episode. You know how long I've been a nerd, Roger? You know how long I've been a nerd, Roger? You know what I'm saying? This is my episode. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so much.
Go ahead and get it
You
on,
know how
player.
long I've been getting my... Yeah, this is my episode right here, truth teller. This is the kids that have to be inside doing 5 number long division while everybody else was outside playing in the streets, whatever. So you know what I'm saying? So this is definitely my episode, Roger. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm glad to see young black men getting their quarter zip on. And saying changing their disposition towards success. And saying I will do as exactly as Kevin says. When I see them out there, I'm going to give them a little encouragement, let them know they're on the right track. The future looks great. Very proud of them. I'm saying embrace your nerdness. Embrace your, you know what I'm saying, don't be a geek though. A little nerd, but not a geek. I'm saying embrace your nerd. I'm saying put your collars on, put your shirt on. I'm saying like I'm saying I'm not a truth teller level yet where basically I graduated from quarter zip and I'm only wearing like Italian suits and shit like that. But I'm saying but I say I definitely agree. Embrace it, Roger, and I gotta say the second video where I want to make a comment about that with the 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 black woman with the blonde hair, it's telling telling the young black men that they acted like white men. I'm like, it's like this is what I'm trying to say. That was a precious clip, Roger. It's a precious clip. It was just very depictive of our current environment. A black woman with a blonde wig telling young black men they're acting like white men for wearing quarter zips. It's amazing. Nevertheless, I'll end there, Roger. Thank you, sir.
Hey, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. And y'all, I'm gonna say I definitely appreciate it. He's one of my greatest supporters when you think about it. He's one of the top supporters over here. So shout out to No Placeholder. I appreciate you just as much, my brother, just as much. And y'all, I'm gonna say that clip of the young lady. The good news is, because I saw this, I seen it a few days ago. The good news is, as you know, stuff will come in your algorithm. My algorithm kind of crazy because I look for stuff for my personal self, then I look for a lot of stuff for show content and all that type of stuff. She the only one, y'all. That's what I'm gonna say is good. She is the only one that I know of who decided she just got to make a public statement to downplay black men in the quarter zip. I ain't saying the other women don't feel that way. I ain't saying I can't tell their actions would tell me that they're very much against black men doing that. But I gotta say, at least she was the only one that, at least so far, that would actually go to social media and literally say this dumb stuff. So
Don't talk too
good
soon, though,
news.
Roger. Because remember when the guys was wearing the suits and all of that. They was female podcasters making whole shows about that. So I wouldn't. They follow right after each other. So I wouldn't talk too soon. But
Just
as
give them
long as those
time.
brothers hold fort and keep doing what they're supposed to be doing, that's all that matters. You know what I mean? I want to see the female equivalent to this. That would be a beautiful thing.
Well, the clip that I saw when the gentleman went to the news station, he did talk about that, and he said he was trying to, do something with a content creator who was a female to come up with some type of female um counterpart or something, so it ain't worked out yet, but maybe soon, it will be. Now me, I'm just happy if a woman wear a dress, you know what I'm saying, real talk. Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
like if she could just rock the dress. I'd be good.
I ain't even lying. I you know what I'm saying? If I can see a black woman who's not reporting to work at corporate America, let me make that clear, because I know a lot of women will say, "Well, we wear dresses or we wear skirts and stuff." I'm talking about somebody who's not reporting to work. You're not reporting to work. Like, you just wear a dress because you want to put a dress on. And I'm not talking about in the summertime where people wear sundresses. So let me make that clear too. Okay. I know generally the reason people wear sundresses, but that's a more sexual thing going on with them, because black women have a hard time being sensual. They really just are being sexual. Now I'm talking about wearing a dress that's not designed to entice somebody to have sex with you. A dress just to show that you're a feminine woman. That's what I'm actually talking about.
Those aren't really sundresses that they're wearing. A sundress, if you ever actually really seen a real sundress, is not
Yeah,
a sexual.
sexual
It's
at
not
all.
very form fitting. It accentuates female beauty, but it doesn't really, you know,
Right.
layers it out. They don't even know what a sundress is. I mean, your mother, Roger, probably has maybe a sundress or two in her closet. These women, they don't even know what a sundress is. They think anything that's tightly fitting in a dress is a sundress. I haven't seen a sundress being worn by any of these young men.
Well,
I
I'm
haven't
glad to
seen
hear
this.
you say that.
I haven't
Oh,
seen
go
an
ahead.
actual sundress in 30 years.
Yeah,
What,
yeah,
what,
yeah. It's
what,
been about that long. I mean, put this way, on young women. Now, I've also seen older women wearing something that looks to be a sundress, and they're usually 60 plus. But I can't remember the last time I've seen a young woman wear a sundress, especially a young black woman. Yeah.
well, I'm gonna say shout out to you for saying that, and I want everyone to appreciate the fact that they so far gone with it that I don't even know what a sundress is, because that's really what he just said. Okay, I don't even know what a sundress is for real. You know,
No,
and
a sundress is usually has a floral pattern of some sort. Very often, more often than not, lightly colored floral pattern. Is tapered at the waist, but is usually very sort of wide and flowing. It's not hip hugging and breast hugging and whatever. That's not a sundress. And the whole point of a sundress was to be kind of loosely fitting, to be worn in the South, to allow for comfort, particularly in hot weather, to have the wind and whatever sort of blow through it in such a way that it's kind of a naturally cooling. That's what a sundress is, not this whole shit that they wearing on TikTok.
yeah, what that's what I'm talking about. The whole stuff. When I say sundress, I was referring to the whole stuff. Okay, so yeah, I've been corrected, and it gets so bad, and I'm about to bring you in, Chef Mike. It gets so bad. It reminds me of the time that I literally forgot that a sports bra was not for outer use. That's how many times I've seen sports bras that I literally forgot that was underwear. I had to be reminded that a sports bra, y'all hear the title of that? A sport. I had to be reminded a sports bra was underwear, even though bra right there in the name. That's how much I've seen sports bras. So I mean, I don't get it with people. But let me go ahead and throw the mic to Chef Mike. You got the flow, my brother. I know we safe this time, y'all. I don't think none of us did nothing. We safe right now. So he just come to the show. We safe. At least I think we safe.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to find yourself on this These Threads Tuesday. I don't know about y'all, but yeah, I've been doing the quarter zip for a good long while. Greetings to all of the brothers on the panel, especially to you, Elder. Always a pleasure to share the panel with you and the other gentlemen.
Here,
Listen, we
likewise.
are entering the era of the distinguished gentleman. And I want y'all to understand. I want y'all to go back, and I heard you all naming folks like Stuart Scott, Ahmad Rashad, and not taking anything away from them brothers. Agree with you all 100%. But I want to take you back to folks like Count Basie, like Duke Ellington, like Nat King Cole, folks who could command a room, gentlemen who could command a room, and the way they dressed was copied by so many. Oh, so many. See, and I believe it was Shark that said he wanted to see the ladies equivalent, if I'm not mistaken. Well, see, if you have a distinguished gentleman, you have to have a sophisticated lady.
Mm-hmm.
And see, you ain't gonna find too many ladies that are sophisticated. Trust me when I tell you, it takes something to be a sophisticated lady. And it's more than being sexy. It's more than being feminine. It is an essence. It is an aura. It's a presence. Oh, yeah. We welcome with open arms the era of the distinguished gentleman. And we wait for our sophisticated ladies. I'm going to land my plane right there.
I mean, here to that one. That's all I can say. Here. Okay,
Yeah,
real talk.
Chef, I'd like to throw in, Sidney Poitier. I mean, Sidney Poitier was fabulously designed man. Tall,
yes, sir.
Lean, almost like Panther-like in the way he moved. Very sort of, it's just unbelievably designed man. Harry Belafonte, very similar. These
Harry Belafonte.
You put a suit on them brothers, and they look like something you just. And here's the thing about a suit, a well-fitted suit, a quarter zip. When you put those clothes on black men, it looks different than when you put them on any other men.
Oh yeah.
Like part of the hating on this quarter zip is you got young men, young, fit, thin black men in a sweater. So it's going to fit them differently, especially if you throw a tie on up under there. It's gonna. Nobody else can really replicate that particular look. No other men can replicate. They can put on that outfit, but it's not gonna look the same. It's not gonna hang the same. The aura is not gonna be the same. A white guy put that outfit on. It's a totally different energy. It's a totally different aura.
Hey, Black Uru. Yeah. Funkadelic said it like this: "You can walk a mile in my shoes, but you can't dance a step in my feet."
Exactly.
I do want to point out
some of the hate that's going to come from this quarter zip thing is the fact that you can have these young black men who can take what would consider to be a basic look,
right?
But then by their own physical presence, change it and augment it and make it stylish, make it something that draws attention. That's unique to black men. It creates all this love, hate, this desire, envy sort of thing. And that's why you're going to have some somewhat extreme responses to the appearance of these young men.
Well, I want to point out that we did see the other. Sorry, yeah.
My bad, Black. I want to offer you one more name, Calvin Lockhart.
Okay, no, not Calvin. That was a bad brother. Kevin
He
Lockhart
was.
was a bad. That was a bad man. Y'all look up Kevin Lockhart. That dude was player from the tip of the toes all the way up to the longest hair on his head. Straight player.
I do want to point out that you notice the other video with some other group of people who tried to address like that. They didn't carry the look too well.
It don't
To
work for them.
Yeah, it don't.
It don't
But the
work for them.
problem,
No,
but
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Drew. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
well, I was gonna say the problematic side to it, and I think some of the people speaking towards the whole supremacy portion of it taking over and blah blah blah. That's how this country is built, and they're not taking over; they're just following. So we've always done this. This is not new for our people to do. We made the Timberland boot popular, a work
Yep.
boot. We made Air Force Ones popular, an ugly sneaker because it's ugly, popular. We made rocking a denim outfit popular, right? We made suits. We brought our own style to suits in the 30s and 40s and made it a different thing than what the standard suit was doing, right? So this is not a new thing. I'm just glad the young men are doing it at this point in time. I just don't like the fact that they want to associate everything to white supremacy because white people are following
Well,
it.
What?
It's
What?
just
They?
absurd
True,
to me.
What? Hold on.
true.
They didn't. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chef Mike. Go ahead.
No, absolutely not. You go ahead, Roger.
What my thing is, they did. The issue is you have people who are onlookers who can't interpret things in another way, and plus, they don't understand that white men are going to actually follow black men. That has been going on since God knows when. At the end of the day, so and with the teachers that we get in this country, where this country is literally anti-black man, that's the only way for them to truly interpret it. The men didn't. The young men who turned this into a movement, they ain't said nothing about white men. It's just people gonna respond and they're gonna try to put their narratives on these young brothers at the end of the day. And I want young black men to know, and I want middle-aged black men to know, I want older black men to know, I want every group of black men to know, you ain't gotta do nothing for white folks. It's that simple at the end of the day. You do for yourself. And I'm gonna give a quick shout out to every other, not Jesus Christ himself, but every other man that has made it to living legend status over here at the Roger Report Live that represents a business look extremely well. That's Michael Jordan. That is the great Robert Smith. That is Bill Cosby himself and Deion Sanders. All gentlemen who purport themselves in excellent ways. I understand some of them are athletes, and they wore the athlete's attire at work, and they wore that well. But when they weren't at work, when they dressed in their own attire, everybody looked sharp at every single moment. It's that simple at the end of the day. Them guys stay looking sharp. Real talk. I mean, it's hard to even think of certain sweaters without even thinking of Bill Cosby, truth be told. If you put on
Morris Chestnut, Blair Underwood,
Boris
Terrence
Kojo.
Howard, they are all very stylish, well-fitted men. When you see them present themselves, they always present themselves in a very dignified, very elegant way for men. Always.
absolutely.
Hey, Black Guru, think about this one. Here's another one. And this one is almost counterintuitive. 50 Cent. Put a suit on 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, and his whole image has evolved from what we saw of him, 20, when he sort of hit the scene better part of 25 years ago.
Yeah,
Very different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When he was still
And here's
trying
the
to
other
get
thing.
rich. Yeah, I'm gonna say he's evolved from trying to get rich to being rich. That evolution been crazy, so shout out to that brother. Real talk, it's been excellent. But we got another guest who's come up, y'all. We got Tech Pookie is in the house, so let's let him get his 2 minutes. You got it, my brother.
Man, I think y'all got to slow down here. The thing about it is that this is a troll. This is not a movement. So this is a Gen Z troll, and really it started off with Nike Techs versus quarter zips. It started off on TikTok, and this is not a shift in black male image or dressing standards. This is literally just, it's a joke. This is not changing anything. This is not changing any paradigm as it concerns young black male dress. Nobody's catching up here. This is literally a troll. It really doesn't even represent black African American men. This started off with a Ghanaian content creator on TikTok. This guy's Ghanaian. I don't know if you see his last name. He does not in any way represent black males in the U.S. So I think y'all just gotta slow down here. This is not another page in the gynocracy playbook. This is not another page in the black manosphere or anything. This is literally a Gen Z troll. So image standards are not changing. They're just doing Nike Techs versus quarter zips, and it's all a joke. Everybody's laughing, except for people who try to take it seriously. And I'll pause there.
You know, Tech, the last time I had a conversation with you, you said that the black manosphere was not having any influence at all on the common parlance. It's like a year or so ago, maybe a couple of years ago. What you don't realize, Tech, as smart as you appear to be in sort of a tactical sense, I think you lack somewhat from a strategic perspective. And sometimes the origin of a thing is not necessarily the whole of a thing. Sometimes the greatest things happen from very small things, innocuous things that it was never at all its intent, but it inspires something within other people to see things differently. And I think that's what you fundamentally miss about this space in general. You think just because it's a couple of guys talking on the internet, some black guys, mostly anonymous guys talking on the internet, that it doesn't have an impact on other people. But what you discount is who's listening, who's all listening to this, and where are they? Who are they influencing? I mean, in the perfect example, the ultimate perfect example of that obviously was Kevin Samuels. He came out of this very sort of anonymous environment, you know, guys, brothers talking on the internet, you know, late night on BGS's channel, going back and forth. And then from that, you know, a few years later, he's having conversations with Future and Nicki Minaj. What you fail to realize is
you think talking to Nicki Minaj and Future is a success.
Origin, and it was being quoted by people in the media during presidential elections, brother. Come on, man. You had people complaining about the influence of this dude during gubernatorial elections. Come on, man.
It was not Kevin Samuels. It was Andrew Tate and other.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. This is the reality. Having the ability to do something can show signs of success. So even though you may feel some type of way about a Nicki Minaj, for example, because she's quote unquote just a female rapper, having the ability to have the conversation with a Nicki Minaj is showing signs of success. At the end of the day, everybody ain't measuring everything the same way you are.
Who has sold tens of millions of recording, that has tens of millions of followers in social media, and that doesn't mean anything?
Yeah, I mean,
so it sounds like he's addressing something completely different, Roger.
No, I'm saying I can understand how that doesn't mean anything to you, but to a normal person with just general intelligence, I understand being able to talk to a Nicki Minaj is a task at this point. Now, if you knew her when she was growing up, that's one thing. But now, for me to not know Nicki Minaj, if I want to have a conversation with Nicki Minaj, I literally got to go through a process, and it's going to take some effort. So Roger, it is a sign of success that she's be willing to talk to.
What does his comments have anything to do with the origin and the proliferation of this particular standard?
The thing is,
because nobody responded to what I said.
We are responding to what you said. We
just because you ain't saying nothing.
You don't have that you ain't have an issue. We're literally responding to what you said.
Excuse me, gentlemen. What we're not gonna do is let this devolve into a fish market. Brother, I don't think I've shared the panel with you, but when Black Uru speaking, nobody else speaks until he's done. Even if you agree, if you're trying to get in, you just got to wait. That's just the rules. But
He was done
everybody
talking
needs
to
to do this
Roger.
we need to do this one at a time. We need to do this one at a time because we are not going to let this conversation go south. Thank you very, very much. Roger, I'm going to drop down.
Hip
Go
hop
ahead.
started. Hip hop started with some brothers in the Bronx, with a couple of old, R&B albums or Parliament Funkadelic albums. Partying in the basements in the Bronx. That's how hip hop started. I mean, all kinds of great movements that really had nothing at all to do with their origin. Very often started very innocuously, and sometimes the times that you're in influences how people respond to some things. I think we are at a point some 30, 35 odd years later, several generations now, where you do have young men who want to do something different, who want to present themselves something different. They've looked at their uncles and their fathers and they looked at all of what has happened and all the imagery associated with it. And if some Ghanaian, and shout out to the Ghanaian brother, if what you described is true, as a joke, as a lark, presents something, but it inspires something better of young men for whatever reason, some young 18, 19, 20-year-olds, then so be it. That's a wonderful thing.
How have you seen this thing inspiring individuals?
Well, hold on, because I'm going to say something.
Are we? Okay.
This is the thing. This is the thing. Okay, because like I said, y'all, there was a news clip I meant to put in there that showed the brother that they're crediting with getting this kind of off the ground or whatever. I don't know if he's the guy that actually started it. I don't actually care. His last name, I can't think of what it is. It's like Gamafi or something like that. So it's not even American, what you would assume is an American name. So, his lineage probably does come from somewhere. I'm not saying it ain't Ghanaian. I just don't know. So
no, I'm saying
it's
it
probably
is.
what it is.
No, I'm saying it is and he is.
No, I'm not challenging that. I'm not saying that. It's not even important.
Matter.
Yeah, it ain't even important.
I'm just giving the confirmation of the information, Roger. That's all I'm saying. Is that the last name is Ghanaian. That's all I'm saying.
That's fine. I said what I recognize. I'm saying I don't even recognize it as an American name. Who cares what he did? Yeah, it started off as a joke. People know that it started off as a joke. But no black man in America.
Tell mommy to check the drive. Yeah.
The black men in America.
Tell mommy. Listen, I said, say mommy, check the drive on the Tyler's folder.
Hold on. Now, he's talking to somebody else. Give me 1 second. Boom. There we go. All right. Yeah, the thing is, it doesn't make a difference what he did. He's not even that important to it at the end of the day. The issue is how young black men who ain't even Ghanaian are responding to it. At the end of the day, it may be a joke to him, but it's serious to other people. And what's a joke to him is fine because, he got his own life. He can joke about whatever he want to joke about. But if men that have nothing to do with him say, hey, you know what? Let's just do this for real. That's good at the end of the day. There's literally nothing negative to point out in that situation. Nothing can be pointed out negative in that situation.
Who is taking it serious? How have
Well,
you
hold on.
seen taking it serious?
Well, hold on, y'all. Hold on. I want to ask a couple questions. Because let me. Do you think?
I'm just saying. How have the thing about this thing is that this trend is not even a month.
It's not a trend. It's a movement.
Let me finish talking.
No, okay. I'm talking to you. When I interrupt, it's always fine. And so I just told you it's not a trend, it's a movement. The only thing to say that is okay, or fine. But that's it. That's the only way you respond to that.
And I don't see it as a movement.
I'm not asking you what you see. They said it's a movement, therefore it's a movement. If you don't respect them as men, you're not going to disrespect them here.
What are you talking about?
I just told you it's not a trend, it's a movement. Acknowledge that and move on.
All right, man, you keep going.
No. The problem is
y'all
you
go
are
ahead and have
trying
your
to be.
conversation.
You're trying to be
Peace
so
out.
contrarian because that's what you do. You go places and try to be contrarian. You're being so contrarian that you don't have. You got an issue when somebody's not letting you be that way. They said it's a movement, not a trend. I'm gonna respect what they called it. And if you can't respect what they called, that means you don't respect them as men. It's that simple. At the end of the day, you're not gonna disrespect those young men in my face, and I'm just gonna be okay with it. It's just not gonna happen. And I don't care how you feel about that. It's that simple. I just don't even care. You know, because at the end of the day, y'all, there are people who are not supposed to be in some places. Okay. Now, look like he done bowed out.
I was going to attest because it's strange that you're going to say it's a trend when you don't have any proof that it is a trend, right? It's strange that you can call it something. You're saying it's only been active for a month, so therefore it's a trend. I was going to ask, well, what indicates that it's a trend? How do you know? He actually sounds like the women in those videos shooting it down. Because you're categorizing something before you even have the whole picture. You're not saying, "Hey, let me see this play out and see what's gonna happen." These dudes picking up. I'm gonna put this to y'all. This is not a new thing. It's just that more young men are picking it up. Because when I was coming up, even when my kids were coming up, there was always a handful of guys. We used to call it the Carlton Banks. The niggas would put the glasses on, get the polo, get the chinos, and get themselves some boat shoes, and they'd go out to the club, and they'd be like, "Well, who you gonna bag here?" And them are the niggas bagging all the chicks. Them are the niggas in the gym working, doing nothing but lifting on the chest so it can look good in the polo, and rock the glasses and get their hair done. They get their hair braided so they can look crispy when they go out to these chicks. This is not anything new that black men have not done before. It's just that these younger kids are picking up on their version of it. Why would we applaud it? I just don't understand why it would be a problem to see this and say, hey, I don't know what it is, but they're moving in the right direction. Let's see what happens.
And hold on, y'all, real quick.
You have a lot of people who, for whatever reason, don't want young black men to live, and sometimes it has different origins. Sometimes it's basic cooning. Sometimes it's hate or jealousy or envy. Sometimes it's mate guarding. I think with that black woman, I think that's a form of mate guarding. I think there's a fear that this is going to broaden the marketability of young black men to the point in which they have no shot at them. So I think there's some mate guarding going on there. I think, with all due respect to I think there's some tethering here. With all due respect, I think there's some tethering here with the brother who was here earlier, where there is some resentment towards FBA men. You can say what you want, but that's what I believe is a part of that as well. So
I have an analogy. I have an analogy for this. Like when we were kids playing outside, we used to play baseball and outside and stuff like that. Every now and then, somebody would hit a ball and it would break somebody's window, whether it was a car window or whether it was a house. We were just playing, but that was a serious thing that happened, even though we was just playing. This is what's happening here. I don't care if somebody's just playing with it. Somebody's taking it serious at the same time. So it doesn't negate the fact that it has an effect because the origins came from somebody that was just quote unquote playing.
Okay. And let me say real quick, look, y'all. Now I didn't throw him off the show. He was about to get thrown off anyway, because Chef Mike actually said no suit for the new guy, but he left ahead of time. The issue is when you come to the Roger Report Live, you're gonna have to respect men in general. These young men said it's a movement. Until you can prove otherwise, you're gonna respect what they said. You don't get to disrespect them just because they're not present. Okay, so I know he'll probably try to take that as a different way. They didn't want me to say no. You gonna respect those young men regardless, because I'm upholding that. It just is what it is. If you can't respect them, don't come. It's that simple. At the end of the day, if you can't respect black men, this ain't the channel for you. because you ain't gonna really get too much out over here while trying to be disrespectful to black men in general. Just not gonna happen. But we have the nameless protagonist here. I'm gonna let him go first because he's short on time, and then we'll get you in. Real Chatala.
To the chat and the instructors on the panel, hosts. Okay, I wanted to. This shit interrupted my training, man. Let me clean this up just slightly so that we don't get any more interference points like this in the future. Firstly, this is a Gen Z movement, and it needs to be understood in that context. It is a Gen Z articulation. Secondly, it falls under the Anglospheric phylum, and that's important because this started amongst those individuals here who are speaking English. And I want to make something very clear because I'm going to add more nuance to this tether conversation. I believe tethering is a verb, not a noun. And we may have experienced the verb just now. But what I want to highlight here is that there is a shared valence amongst individuals in the Anglospheric English-speaking West who happen to be of a higher melanin content. The UK, the Caribbean, and obviously the major migration points in America are the hot spots for this culture to flash off at. It happened amongst Gen Z, it happened amongst social media, and it happened amongst people of the African diaspora and those who were here already, ADOS and FBA. We use FBA here in this channel, so we'll highlight that as well. In the UK, they have this concept called the roadmen. They dress exactly like the YNs. There is a chicken or the egg conversation as to who showed up first, but they all share a common genealogy socio-culturally within the Gen Z Anglospheric modality. So trying to get into a tick for tat or a chicken or the egg argument over who started it is irrelevant. The bottom line is it was an organic movement that emerged out of Gen Z that was pushing back against the unified ideology that was all over the music industry. And you can see that with the declining of drill as it's understood in its current iterations and rearticulation globally. This wasn't a coincidence. And the fact that it was a self-impetus, it was something that was self-directed and then got its own articulation regionally is what has people concerned. Because Roger said it in the very beginning. It's a shift that nobody gave permission for. And what people are responding to are individuals within this age bracket acting without permission. And that's all I wanted to say before I got to go, man.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. And I believe you hit the nail on the head. And look, y'all, I'm not the kind of person to disrespect people from other places because you're from another place. But at the end of the day, I ain't got to accept it either. So I'm gonna just make that understood. Go ahead,
something
brother.
right quick.
Go
This
ahead.
is the perfect example of a Ku Klux nigga. Put that in your mind. Ku Klux nigga. That's one of them. That's the male counterpart of Ku Klux Keisha.
and I'm gonna say shout out to LS Active. He says, I'm not from America, but these Africans trying to belittle Americans and their actions is seriously frustrating. And he also said, and I'm African. And brother, all I can say is I appreciate that big time. I appreciate that big time because I make a point not to belittle people just because they're from somewhere else. But that doesn't mean I have to tolerate it either. Yeah, that's part of being a ruthless nice guy, y'all. I can be nice to you, but don't forget I'll be ruthless in a moment. It's that simple to me. Okay. But I'm gonna let the real Tyler get in. You got it, my brother.
Hello, Roger. Shout out to you as a host and all the gentlemen speaking. I've been listening for a little bit, so I think you guys probably hit most of the points I was going to kind of cover. You guys hit some historical aspects of black male dress and actually how Black Americans, dressed over the years anyway. We've always been snazzy dressers, so this is not something new. It's just something new as it relates to, I think somebody pointed it out just recently, to the young men who are doing it and they're trying to kind of change their style and image and upgrade. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually a good thing. I was trying to figure out why the young lady was so mad about it, but then Uru actually mentioned something. It's about mate guarding and about look, if these dudes are stepping their game up and looking good, then shoot, I don't have a chance. I want to run around and be sloppy and present myself in a way that's amenable to basically the lesser men, I suppose, if you want to call them that. Uh, so, because along with upgrading your style and presenting yourself in a better way, you're supposed to upgrade everything else around you. You're supposed to upgrade your performance. If you're in high school or college, your grades, right? Your effort towards being a better man. So it's not just a clothing style upgrade. It's everything around you and part of your personality and your effort towards just being a better person. So so she was being disingenuous when she was talking about, well, yeah, changing the clothes, but not changing the actual behavior. Well, that's part of it, and it kind of makes me when I hear that from people, it makes me think, well, who's around you and what are you doing and what are you talking about? So that's part of it. And your style should actually evolve over the years anyway. As you get older, you're supposed to dress better and dress more mature and present yourself in a way that's actually, more presentable, consistent with your age range 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. You'll see how guys, their style changes over the years. I was looking at some of my older photos and how my style has changed personally. And I'm dressing, according to my age and range and how I look. And, it's pretty doggone dapper. I cheat a little bit because I put on a mock turtleneck every now and then, so that way I don't have to wear a tie. But it's kind of how you get away with it. But at some point, you got to evolve. But I'm glad these young men are actually doing it. I will mention the fact that that thing hadn't been around for what, a month, and already some other people. I'm not gonna get on them too much. I'll just say some other people decided they need to copy it. And you know what? It does not. Even though the style, even though the quarter zip has been around since I think the mid 20th century or the early 20th century, it doesn't look as good on them. They just can't pull off the look. So when they do it, they're not really doing it for the seriousness of it or trying to improve or change anything because their image is protected no matter what. They could be complete screw ups and they still have a protected image. So I like what those young guys are doing. But yeah, but the people trying to copy them, it looks like I just need some clicks and views, and I'm trying to just hop on a trend and copy somebody else who's doing something positive to try to actually improve their image. But
Yeah.
I got a little bit more to say, but I'll go ahead and stop right there. That sounds like a good place to land.
All right. Well, I want to throw something out there too, because this is the thing, y'all. Black men should be respected. Period. And I do believe there was some tethering going on because I think certain black men don't want other black men to get no shine. They want to pull down stuff they do. I don't know if the young man that's the name. I don't know if he actually started it. He may have been the guy where it just kind of took off from because a lot of stuff don't go with the people who started. Go with the people who said something about him. A platform is bigger, then it kind of takes off. So I don't even know if he the guy that started. But what I am gonna say is, black men got to be smart about what power they have. Okay, because even when they were talking about that, to use the brand, and this ain't nothing against these brands, because I'm willing to say nice stuff to you, long as you're paying. Okay, and that's just real talk. Long as you're paying, I ain't gonna. I mean, you got to have a quality product too, but but if you pay, sure, I mention your quality product all the time. I mean, even the putting in about they drink massas and saying something about Nike Tech, I wouldn't have did any of that because number one, I'm not going to promote one brand, and then I'm not going to take shots at another brand. And then when I even look at Nike as a whole, Nike has actually helped black people in a lot of ways through what they've been able to do with the NBA and NFL. They've done a lot of good for black folks at the end of the day. I ain't saying Nike a great company. I ain't saying Nike intentionally did certain things. I'm saying the black people's relationship with Nike has been a pretty good relationship from the overall standpoint based on what I know. Okay, so I wouldn't put Nike down as far as if I'm gonna name a company, which I wouldn't have done if I was doing it myself. I wouldn't have named a company because y'all, there's power in your words, and there's power in anything that you're mentioning. Y'all knows the other day I said I had a problem with Subway being mentioned too much because they got too much light because Subway don't pay me. At the end of the day, to me, it was mentioned too much many times, and they don't cut me a check. There's power in what you got going on. And I know some of y'all may say, well, Rod, you only got but just over 1,000 subscribers. It don't make a difference, y'all. You don't know how big your power going to end up being. Learn to use it a little bit more exclusively. Let your words mean something. Throw weight behind products that you actually support and if they helping you. Now, if you just want to promote something for free, that's one thing. But at least be conscious of what you're doing. I'm going to give light to where I want to give light to. It's that simple for me because my words do mean something. And you need to take your words just as serious, which is just like with these young men dressing, changing the way they dress. They just want to be taken seriously. And they understand if you want to be taken seriously in the world, especially one that you don't control, there are certain things you just going to have to do. You know, I'm not saying you can't do it your way. The whole thing is how quick you want to do it and how do you want to go about it.
Great points, Roger. Great points. Especially a part about the world that you don't control. Because even in the Bible it does say, when in Romans, do as the Romans do. So it's just fitting advice, no matter where you are.
Well, now you can actually critique it to some extent because there is a respectability politics factor associated with this. If you dress better, people will treat you better. They'll look at you differently. I always go back to look at how everybody was dressed during those marches, civil rights marches, and all this other stuff, and bricks and stuff was being hurled at them. When they went to did those sit-ins, they were wearing ties. Heck, what the 1960 North Carolina A&T University. One guy went into the I think it was the Woolworths with his ROTC uniform, and they got mistreated. So yeah, there's a factor there, but I mean that doesn't necessarily change the attitudes. But if it changes your attitude and your behavior, and then eventually it flows out from there, then that would be a nice thing. I guess you can kind of call that supposedly the halo effect a bit. Like one thing is supposed to influence the next and the next and the next until you get like a overarching effect that's more positive than negative. But just remember, you know, I think what was it, Mr. West, who said even if you in a Benz, right?
Absolutely.
You still a black man in a coupe, right? I'm cleaning that up a bit.
Yeah. And you know what? To me, that is an important factor. For us, it doesn't make a difference what you got on. The civil rights prove that dressing better will not get somebody else to treat you better. And some guy did say that in the video, but bro, it's like, why are you so worried about how they're going to treat you? The issue should be about us seeing ourselves the way we want to see ourselves and about how we're going to treat each other. You can't control what these white folks gonna do. You can't control what these other non-white folks who run with white supremacy with white folks are going to do. You can't control none of that. But you can control how we present ourselves and how we see ourselves. Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna push back on that statement a little bit. If you were not dressed well during the civil rights movement, would you have been taken as seriously as they were taken? You can ensure that you're not going to be taken seriously by not dressing the part. So I think dressing well was a key component to the marches being taken seriously. No, it did not. It did not. It did not ensure that they were going to be treated well, but it did. It did help to ensure that they were going to be taken seriously.
No, I can see that. I definitely can see that because it was taken seriously. And this is the thing. You don't have to dress a certain way. But yes, in order to get other people to get a certain read on you, dressing a different way won't help you. At the end of the day, there's a reason Klan members cover their face. It's one thing to dress like a Klan. It's another thing to put that hood on. The ones who was out there boldly as Klan members, they was standing on business, as we say. Real talk. Now the thing is, you cannot guarantee how other people are going to treat you, but what you can do is guarantee how you're going to treat yourself. And you can demand respect. And the truth be told, it's a lot easier for people to accept respecting you when you're dressed certain ways. Just is what it is. Now, that's a part of life you're not going to have personal control over. But if I tell you something and I'm in a suit, the person I'm talking to usually would take it differently if I tell you something and I'm in a jogging suit, a jogging shirt and pants. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be taken the same way a lot of the time.
Correct.
Well, you know what dressing well does is it removes distraction from your point, and it removes fallacious, or it helps to remove fallacious critiques about what your objectives are. If you're dressed, in an outlandish way, or what's generally perceived to be outlandish for the particular environment you're in or the particular time, then what it does is it allow enemies or people who are um, who find what you're doing to be questionable. It allows them to focus on your appearance and then use that as justification to discard your your primary objective. So it's not so much that dressing well, it may not necessarily endear people to what you're doing, but it makes it less easy for them to find fault to what you're presenting because they're not distracted by your sagging pants.
Yeah, and I want to say it's also better for the dumb people, y'all. You may have an argument with somebody, some type of issue that come up, and dumb people will fall into, well, y'all see how he's dressed, and then they'll make different decisions because of how you're dressed. It helps you with dumb people. See, when you dress in that suit, okay, you dress in those nice slacks, nice shoes, you got your quarter zip on. The people trying to direct the crowd is going to have a harder time directing the crowd against you. But if you're in something that's not considered that, maybe if you in your basketball shorts, if you in a tank top, they can move the crowd a lot easier to be anti you, regardless of what's being presented. So the thing is, you want less control or you want more control. You know, that's a personal decision you got to make. Me, I like the control.
And here's the irony about you talk about the how Allen Iverson sort of changed or opened up the the appearance or whatever of NBA players. But here's the irony about that. Uh, the greater stature of that position was created by men who dressed much more formal. Magic, Michael, they dressed much more formally. They enhanced the image of the league, which then enhanced the value and the marketability and the wealth drawing ability of the league. And then Allen Iverson benefited from that. During Michael Jordan's career, I'm using this because it is tied to image. During Michael Jordan's career, the average salary of the NBA player increased from less than $300,000 to over $4 million through 1998. 300,000 over 4 million. Allen Iverson benefited from the image of the league that Michael created, which for him, you always saw him in a suit and tie. You always saw him wearing dress shoes when he was all the time. He made a point of that. So image can definitely have a very positive impact on how others perceive you. Now, Michael was also incredibly great. So, you had these positive associations of how great he was and discipline and skill he was as an athlete, which with this image, Julius Erving, thank you. Julius Erving, very remarkably elegant man. One of the reasons why we admired Dr. J so much was because he presented himself so elegantly in the 70s. He had that beautiful afro and he was very tall and he moved and he was very even the way he spoke. He didn't speak like, he spoke very elegantly. He presented himself very elegantly. I'm glad you mentioned Julius Erving because he was a predecessor to Michael, but it was all a part of that same sort of we're going to kind of manage the image of what the black athlete is. I mean, you can debate, where it's gone or, whatever, or how much they supposedly, I guess, capitulated to whiteness. It's a different time back then. It was a very different movement back then. But even like Ali and those guys, they were all very formally presented when they were not performing. They were all very formally presenting men. When he was with Malcolm X and Elijah Muhammad, those were not casually presenting men.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say, real talk, I thought it was a good thing because they was at work. How do you present yourself when you go to work? You present yourself in a, if you got a uniform, you put your uniform together, you make sure your uniform looks nice. And if you're not in a uniform, you wear formal attire. That's just what it is. And that's the way black men have always done it. And I think it's the way black men should just keep it up. And truth be told, if it's going to help your pockets, why be against it? Now, we always got somebody making silly comments. Somebody else just kind of showed up. Okay. Now, I'm going to say this person's being silly right now. Now, if you want to join the panel, you most assuredly welcome to. Now, if Kampf, I guess, says nothing will change back on this trend, y'all on the panel aren't even changing. It's not a trend, it's a movement. That's number one. Okay, they're not girls. It's not going to be something they do for 2 weeks and then you just change what you're doing. No, they're talking about a movement. So it's not a trend. So number one, you being silly by even calling their movement a trend. Number two, no, it does change. Because guess what, y'all? There's something going on in Black America, and I got some old content that's going to be showing it. A lot of young black men are rejecting single mother culture. It's that simple at the end of the day. One of the things that no one planned for was that a father would not be there. So therefore, young people are going to see things in a different way. And when you have too many young men who don't have their fathers involved, psychologists have figured out every child is seeking their father's approval. So I'm saying, just like I said earlier, now that you have regular black men who are able to put things out on social media and they do not have to go through white supremacy approval, younger people are growing up with a different set of things in front of them. You still got your white supremacy approved, mainstream media, but you got a bunch of people who have not been approved by mainstream media who are also putting out content too, and they now get to pick. I'm not saying everybody gonna pick the right thing, but it's a choice now. At first, it wasn't really that much of a choice. It was mainstream media or nothing. Now it's mainstream media or anybody I want to who got some content for me to consume. So there's a choice now. Go ahead.
Interesting, Roger. I agree with your point. I wanted to make a separate point about the two people that seem to be pushing back about the movement and deeming it a trend. Because it was it? I think his name was it's actually IP Config, Roger. And the 88 probably is what year he was born. So and then you have Tech Pookie. So it seemed to me that the two people that want to push back on the young black men wearing the quarter zips and the collar shirt and ties seem to be like true black men in tech. Because if based on his icon and the headset, it looks like he's actually in tech and
In tech,
naming himself IP. Yeah, naming himself IP Config obviously is a clear way of indicating that you're in tech. But yeah, I think they're a little jealous, Roger. They're probably a little threatened by the idea of these more attractive, taller, handsome men start putting on decent clothes as opposed to looking like vagabonds, and probably taking credit for all the hard work they do with it. But yeah, I think there's a little bit of jealousy there. But that might be the reason why they're pushing back on it being a movement versus the trend.
Well, I would agree with you that there probably is some jealousy there. No, Red Pill Super said, if you want to go ahead, brother.
All right. Even if it's a trend or not, what is wrong with black men, young black men want to improve their image? Like, I have so many times that I had to like force one of my sons, to, the importance of appropriately dressing in certain occasions. And now my younger son had came to me last week about the thing on TikTok with the quarter zipper. I think it's a wonderful thing. And with without grown-ups going to them, it's young men bring this upon other young men. I don't see a problem with it.
That's a very good point. And I'm gonna say, people act like they want young black men to be influenced by proper stuff. That's what they say when bad stuff is going on. So now you got something that ain't causing harm to anyone, but you got people who are taking issue with it. Now the thing is, you got to look in their heart and say, why are they taking an issue with this thing that has no negative effect? Who does this negatively affect, y'all? Let's be realistic about this. Some young black men decide to dress in a way that's going to help them move forward in life. Who's getting negative from this?
People that are attracted to and depend on degeneracy.
Hey,
Yeah,
Raj, y'all can hear me real quick?
yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was hearing all of y'all going crazy. Yo, honestly, the guy that came on is correct, but what Kev said earlier kind of knocks it all the way home. Like sometimes we play baseball and we might hit we might break a window, and that's a major thing. You know what I mean? I think it was satire because me and my cousin just did a podcast going back and forth, and my cousin, he's like from Brownsville. He still want to be, and it was the quarter zips against the YNs. So the quarter zips would be in the mall and they're seeing YN and they on the escalator. Like it was a couple of skits. I don't know if you guys seen the skits or y'all just seen the news clip of it. But it was a couple of skits where it was like that, and those were some Ghanaian young men. But hey, if you make a joke and that joke happens to turn into something that's good, and hopefully the young black boys will catch on and start doing that, I don't see anything wrong with it. But the fact of the matter was, yes, it was to poke fun at African American culture and how the young guys represent themselves in public with the ski masks, the shiesties or whatever they call it, and the tech suits, and nobody want to walk by them. That was the main angle of the whole thing. But hopefully it just kept going like wildfire, and now they're doing what they're doing because they was drinking the matchas and all. So it's like, yeah, we a little bit better than y'all. Don't come around us type of thing.
All right, and my thing is that may very well be the case because I know it was a joke. That hasn't been hidden at all. You know what I'm saying? That it was a joke. But this is the thing, y'all. Well, first of all, let me say this too, because I've been meaning to say this, I ain't got around to saying it because I don't try to control how people talk. I'm making it clear to everybody right now. I am banning YN from my channel. If you say it in the comment, if y'all any moderator who sees somebody use YN, time them out immediately. I don't care what they said, something good, bad, positive, whatever. I'm banning YN from this channel. I told you I never liked that term when I first heard it. You know what I'm saying? I understand how words can affect people and things about cultures or whatever things. So y'all, I'm officially banning YN from this channel. If you are a person even joining the panel, you ain't gotta wait for no suit. If you just say YN if you want to get put out, and we just gonna put you out for the day. Okay, and that's just real talk, y'all. I'm banning that from this channel because I know that there's a bunch of stuff that's gonna go on with that I don't even really want to get to, and I don't even really want to say it on air. So I'm just officially banning it from my channel. Anybody who say that, I don't care if they knew, we time them out and just tell them, y'all, we don't use that type of language on this channel. To me, it's worse than a curse word, and that's just real talk, y'all. Okay, and y'all know I be telling y'all to chill on the curse and all that. Now you say YN is gonna be instant. I'm banning that from this channel. Real talk. Okay, I can't control what they do on other people's channels, but I got some control over here. So it is what it is. All right, I don't like it. Never liked it. Ain't never gonna like it. I don't see how it's good. And I just think it's gonna be a slick way that white people gonna be using to call people niggas. Real talk. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Now, now, when it comes down to it, y'all, yeah, joke is a joke, no problem. Okay, there's a lot of jokes that have been taken seriously that have done a lot of great things. You know what I'm saying? Truth be told, just because something is presented as a joke doesn't mean there's not something good there. Black men are supposed to be able to find anything and use it, especially in a positive way. We never stopped having that ability. So it doesn't make a difference if it's a joke. I don't even care if it was a joke where it was some haters, because I do understand there is a culture of black people coming to America that hate on black men that's from here. That's why you have things like the word like tether that are coming about. And the thing is, a lot of people are showing that they are tethers. And my thing is, you know, when I first heard tether, I was like, is that going to be problematic? But now that I see what people are doing and how they're showing themselves, now it's real easy to see, who's the tethers versus who are not the tethers. And at the end of the day, if you a tether, you ain't no good for us. So there's no reason to like you in the first place. You know.
Hey.
Go ahead. Who's that?
Oh, those me. And also, this could be a good opportunity because I already know my son going to start asking me to buy him some quarter zippers. I already see it because he's all over Instagram and TikTok, heavily influenced. But it's a great gateway to introduce this type of mature style of dressing to if you got kids. This is a great opportunity because they're going to be heavily influenced by people of their age. And once they're hooked and they like it, then you can ease them into dressing more appropriately compared to before. That you'll get a lot of pushback from the young kids, like, "Oh, that's old folks or whatever." I mean, this is a great opportunity to seize on.
And let me say this real quick. And y'all, now I'm just being deliberate because I'm gonna still call them what I said first. If conf, now we know what it really means, but I'm doing it anyway. Okay, this is me being deliberate. Okay, now nothing against you, but something against you. He said the people who created this quarter zip trend are telling. Who cares? If do you care about who made a car? Or you just not gonna buy a car? If some white supremacy is involved in car making, not gonna buy a car? It because that's kind of like what you're saying right now. When you can find value in something, even if a hater created the thing, that is no reason for you not to use it. If you can do it better than they can, you do it anyway. Black folks have taken all kinds of stuff that was made with hatred toward us, and we don't use it to elevate ourselves. Why would this be anything different? See, some of y'all just be in boxes that are so small. I just wonder how y'all fit. I wonder how the one person can fit into that little box y'all put yourselves in. And it's a little box, and you elect to put yourself in it. So I don't get it. You don't even have to. Okay? You don't have to, but you do it anyway. Now I got another guest coming up, y'all. Not sure who it is, so we gonna do some protections and make sure they good people. Oh, hold on, I hit the wrong one. We gonna make sure they good people before we put them out there like that. I don't got no bad feeling or nothing, so we probably okay. But got to be on the safe side. Got to be on the safe side. All right. And whoever this, you didn't put your name in it. You just put the. That's all you. That's all you got. The who's this joining us? Is this Cat?
Yeah, it's
There he
me.
is.
There I
Okay.
am. What's
Okay.
going
There
on,
you go.
Roger? Roger, what's going on?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. This is a lovely conversation I've been listening to all morning and everything. And the reason why I took this picture is that this is how we used to dress back in the 40s, 50s, and we were well representative. We were well represented. We were well dressed. We were presented well by dressing like this, despite tremendous obstacles during that time period, facing segregation, lynchings, basic human rights being denied, and everything. I mean, but we still put out our best of ourselves. And right now, what I'm noticing when I saw those young black teenagers, if they were in their early 20s or something like that, dressing up like that, basically what they're saying to the granocracy is, look, you're not going to tell us how we should present ourselves anymore. We're tired of this. We're tired of the image that you guys want us to be and everything else. First of all, I think it's an unfortunate, dangerous thing that to try to dress up like you know with baggy plans and all that type of stuff. Because number one, you're going to get targeted by. I mean, we're always going to get targeted by police, but we're basically just increase it more, by dressing up like that. Also, too, they're fighting against, trying to be recognized as presentable black men. You said that the rebellion against you. They said they're against um, the single mama, the single black female culture and everything else. They're rebelling against it because they're tired of it. They want to present themselves as 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 good looking black men who don't want to start no trouble, who want to present themselves well, who want to be a part of culture of corporate America, what's left of it, and they're listening and been following the footsteps of people like Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels, used to, there were times I didn't agree with him, but when he was saying about dressing casually and everything else, we took that to heart and everything else. And that's what we're doing. We're just tired of this granocracy and the feminization that they're doing towards black men. So I'm gonna land my plane there.
All right. Now I'm gonna also say, and now here I go doing it again on purpose, y'all. If come, he said y'all picking and choosing which tethers y'all want to accept. We ain't accepting none of y'all. That's what you ain't getting. We ain't accepting none of y'all. That simple. Just because you was dumb enough to say an ideal in jest, and people smarter than you, since you wanted to be that way with it, say you know what, it should be a serious thing, and you can't figure that out. That's on you at the end of the day. So we ain't accepting none of y'all. Okay? Because the tether is nothing but a white supremacist at the end of the day. There's no actual difference. You just a non-white person trying to participate in best you can in white supremacy. So your whole context is I want to be in submission to white people. And my thing is, why would anyone want to live their life that way? Now I understand this country because I grew up in it. But the fact that you would choose to want to be in submission to white people, that's retarded. But that's what you do. It just is what it is. I didn't make the rules, I just noticed them. Okay? Anybody who wants to participate in white supremacy and you're not even white, that means you have a desire to be in submission to another group of people. Now, I'm not saying people don't submit in different types of contexts, but why would you want to? Yeah, you go to a company, you work for your bosses. You don't want to work for your boss. You're just doing that to get what you need. You don't go in with the desire, oh, I just want to be told what to do. That's not the actual desire. But when you participate in white supremacy, that clearly is your actual desire to have another group of people be on top of you. I don't get that as a man. I can kind of understand it as a woman, but I definitely don't get it as a man. But at least when the women do it, they do it with the idea that I'm going to submit to a person who's going to protect me and provide for me. So at least that makes some level of sense. But to be a man that wants to be in submission to another group of men is crazy work. That's all I'm going to say. That's just crazy work to me. But hey, y'all have at it. Y'all have at it. Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna say on that note. Now, what do I see happening from this movement? Well, at the end of the day, it's gonna be positive for young black men. You know, because y'all, they really need to be pushing against images that other people keep trying to lump on top of them. Now, is wearing a quarter zip going to help in the eyes of somebody who's already made their decision? No, but it doesn't hurt them in any kind of way. Plus, it'll have other people who do a little bit of prejudgment make a different judgment at least some of the time. So it can't be nothing but net positive for the young black men. Okay. Or I'll even say the FBA men for those who want to be separate. It can't do nothing but be positive for us. So we don't care what y'all think. Plus, at the end of the day, as I said, if you look at things from a historical standpoint, black men just start wearing casual stuff. We've always dressed in business attire. It's been that way since we've been free. You may have had a good 30 years where black men have been dressing in some type of non-business attire. I'm gonna say Allen Iverson did help with that because because of how his image was in the NBA. But y'all remember, look what he was fighting against. The NBA had already settled into no, we wear formal wear. Now, how did that change? Because back in the day, according to the information I seen, people just kind of wore gym clothes. It was black men who entered the NBA and changed the standard of what an NBA player is, or how an NBA player should represent themselves. They the ones came in there with the suits. I ain't never seen no old footage of white men in suits. I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. When you start looking at that old footage, I ain't saying it didn't happen, but I sure never seen it. When I saw those white men dressed, they have on like gym uniforms and whatnot. I didn't see them in formal wear. I ain't saying they never put on formal wear. I'm sure they did at some particular point, but that's not what I saw. When I see black men, it was formal wear on a regular basis. They look at you crazy when you didn't have something formal on. Go ahead. What you was finna say, brother?
Our image doesn't belong only to ourselves. And I don't mean just black men. I mean our image doesn't just belong to us today. The image that we present today, we're gonna be talking about it 30 years from now, 40 years from now, 50 years from now. It's important. And then also think about this. Anytime a black man is accused of something, especially if he's attacked and killed or maimed or something like that, how often have we seen them go to social media to find images that person has placed of themselves on social media and use it as damning evidence? So that's why this movement is important, where these brothers fill their image profiles with these type of images. Where later on, when somebody goes back to look at their images, they only see positive things. And companies that are hiring you are now using your social media to disqualify you. This is very, very important. Very, very important.
Yeah, you know what? If image wasn't important, why you dressed like that when you went to that job interview?
Thanks.
Okay. Now I don't know how y'all used to show up at a job interview, but I know how I showed up. Same clothes I went to church, same ones I took to the job interview. Now, why am I saying that? Because we had this whole thing about when you go to talk to God, look your best. I know a lot of people, they dress a certain way for certain reasons. That's what I was told. Hey, you going to talk to God. How you want him to see you? Well, yeah, God know my heart. He said, come as you are. Well, how you want to be when you come to him? You see what I'm saying? How you present yourself to people for whatever your reason is does say something about you at the end of the day, y'all. Okay, it does say something about you. And it ain't about, just that other person. It's about how you see yourself with that other person. It's that simple. Okay. Do you go to work with your shirt untucked? You're going to do something that you believe is an important thing to do, and you're going to represent yourself. You're going to have stains all over your shirt. Is that how you gonna do your job? Whatever it is, I don't care if you in customer service. Are you gonna go to work with your dirty shirt on from yesterday? Is that how you see yourself? Now that's on you at the end of the day. These are all personal decisions we all got to make. So I don't see why anybody should say something negative about some people trying to improve the way they're going to be seen by the world. I just don't understand why somebody is going to have something negative to say unless you are just a negative person. It's that simple to me. Some stuff shouldn't even take, a long conversation. Why can't these young men dress appropriately for where they're going to be? And why can't they overdress for where they were going to be? And I'm going to tell you, I went to school with a young man, y'all, and we would crack jokes here and there, whatever like that. And a lot of us, we talked about it when we got older. We went to school with a young man. I'm talking about this boy dressed to the nines every single day. Just another young black man, lived in the hood. All that stereotypical stuff was going on with him too. Raised by a single mother and all this type of stuff. The man got mad that he didn't get valedictorian. He was pissed off. He missed it by I forget what the margin was, but it was like some super slight margin. He salutatorian was not good enough for him, y'all. It was not good enough for him. It was an issue that somebody beat him at valedictorian. This dude dressed to the nines every single day. And we would crack jokes and all kinds. You would only see him in gym shoes basically at gym. Because we had to take phys ed. So without that, the man didn't have like regular, the man was just dressed suits and ties every single day. And we all looking at him like he was overdressing. This man was dressing better than the faculty, y'all. A young brother from the hood dressed better than the faculty. But you know what we all did? Everybody respected him highly. We cracked jokes and all that type of stuff, but that man got a lot of respect. And a lot of us, we didn't even understand how much respect he was getting from us and the teachers, the faculty and all that, until after we done graduated and actually done thought about this stuff for a while. This dude dressed to the nines every single day.
And you guys as young kids made fun of him, right?
Yeah, we cracked our little jokes because we was going to crack jokes on everybody, but,
remember what Truth Teller was saying, like, yeah, guys did that back in the day. And what did he say we called them? Carltons. There's no good thing in our community that comes with dressing good. That guy's always made fun of. And that's why it was so significant that the guy came up here and tried to put clarity to it. I think he just explained it wrong. But y'all kept saying tether. Tether is somebody that's trying to fit in with you. These guys was trying to decide. These guys was trying to help people decipher me and them. You know what I mean? So they anti-tether. They like, nah, we not them guys. And if I was telling myself, I was listening to y'all, I was at work, and I'm like, the bad part about it is these young guys that we hope and catch on to this and do it like we want them to do it. Because us wanting them to do it just shows how much we want black people to get their stuff together and how much we love the young brothers that's underneath us. But if a superstar rapper or one of these I can't even say one of these basketball players, if like a rapper don't try to push this to them, they're not going to do it. When I was younger, we had Jay-Z when he had the song Change Clothes. That was the only time niggas in the hood thought about putting a button-up shirt on, Roger.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say this. Now, the guy we went to school with, we make fun of him for different reasons, but we just ain't going to let you go through our school. Ain't nobody going to talk about it. That's just how we were. It wasn't because he wore suits, but, it was used as ammo some of the time because it's something that made him kind of stand out at the end of the day. But I'm going to say shout out to T-Pain because T-Pain he done threw on the quarter zip and put something out about that because in the news clip that I meant to show, they mentioned him in there. So
so
not per se rapper, but
we'll
popular
need
music.
We'll need that because they don't really listen. They don't listen to us like that. I don't even think they would listen to Kevin Samuels if he didn't become such a big a big household name all of a sudden, like if he didn't get on World Star and all that. So hopefully some of these brothers that's in the music industry that have a large influence over the kids, they'll do that. You know what I mean? And like somebody said, well, since drill music is going out, maybe they no drill music is going out, but now they back on drug dealer music. They
But what
literally back on drug dealing music.
what the thing is, I want black men to understand you have a choice to push what you want to push, and you got the choice to receive what you want to receive. There is a different world that the kids can grow up in now because again, y'all, 2014 is when social media kind of became a thing. It was invented before that, but before 2014, you didn't expect a general population to have social media. They could have had it, but they didn't. So now these kids are growing up with choices. And we got about, I mean, it's only 2025 right now. So that's been 11 years of people who got something to choose instead of just having to take whatever white supremacy pushes out to the masses. They got
Yeah,
actual
and
choices.
I want to,
Yeah, because I
I
remember,
think,
like, man, it was a time I was on the train with a blazer on, jeans, sneakers, blazer, trying to look like Usher with the button up underneath with the Yankee hat. And it was all because Jay-Z and them was on that, change clothes. You gotta look like you're getting some money, look like you're doing something. Remember, you had that whole little "excuse me, miss" and all that with Pharrell. So there was like putting a different image in your mind. You know what I'm saying? And then you had like Ti, where it was like a more cleaner street version look, and guys kind of took on to that type of thing. But like hopefully, styles come back, styles come around and come around. So hopefully, I feel like these little dudes is a lot smarter than we were in our day and age, and they have a lot more access to stuff. So if it rock, it rock. But hopefully, it keep on rocking.
yeah, I think we're kind of transitioning Shark out of this celebrity leading the culture and image of black people. And if anything, I would say that this quarter zip thing sort of represents more of a ground up approach to building the image and likeness of young black men. I think we're seeing in recent years the folly of allowing celebrities that have been handpicked, black celebrities that have been handpicked to lead the culture and image of black people. I think we're sorely learning how problematic that is, and I hope that rather than continue to do that, I think because of social media, because of the internet, because there's much more of a democratization of media, that we don't have to rely on a Jay-Z or the modern, more recent equivalent of a Jay-Z leading the culture, because I'm not sure if in hindsight Jay-Z was necessarily what we should have been following in
Well,
hindsight.
think about it like this, Uru. Why you think all these African Americans is running around with dreads? Because of Bob Marley?
I think Bob Marley was the impetus of it. I think Marley certainly was the impetus of it. I don't know if a 19-year-old right now is directly wearing uh, locked hair because of Bob Marley. They might not even know who Bob Marley is,
Exactly.
but certainly there were their elders and their elders who were influenced by Bob Marley. So, a lot of times it's not checkers, it's chess. A lot of times it's not one move, it's a left and an up move or across the board move. A lot of times things are not linear. They're
Well, to
quantum.
but
You
to
know?
answer your question, it's because of King Von and Little Dirk, and
Right. But Little
and Chief
Vaughn
Keef.
and
We
are
was
not,
wearing waves when we was coming up. It wasn't we ain't know
but they're
nobody
not.
with I
But
ain't know nobody with
Marley
dreadlocks.
created Marley created a particular look that sort of prevailed over time and had various because Marley did not just represent the look; he represented a certain mentality that came with the look.
Yeah.
It has motivated people to continue it over various permutations, over various reasons. The look mean different things or has meant different things to different generations of it meant being somewhat natural. There was an association, obviously, to marijuana, to free living, to natural living, to more
Rastafari.
living, and then it kind of moved or permutated into sort of a rougher, came to Chicago, got kind of, street. And so it started to mean something else. But the origins of it is definitely, in terms of its American influence, is definitely Marley.
Yeah,
Old enough.
The Rastafarians and everything. Yeah, I could agree.
Right.
But
Yeah,
what I'm saying is when you look
that.
at Little Dirk's dreadlocks and you look at Bob Marley, it's a totally different style. So what I'm saying is these kids are still in I'm an 80s baby. So we're a different breed, but these young kids that we hope and keep going with this quarters thing, they are highly influenced by the social media influences and these musicians. And hopefully NBA YoungBoy will throw on a quarter zip and it'll be all over. It's gonna be quarter zips all over the place.
What they're
I don't
growing.
know if you want to be a young boy. The vanguard of this. I don't know if that's what we want.
I pray for NBA YoungBoy to put one on. Hopefully he'll start thinking different and stuff like, you know what I mean?
What I'm just gonna say that time does mean something, and we're now getting adults that were highly influenced by social media because 2014 was 11 years ago. 11 years ago, a 21-year-old was 10. You see what I'm saying? So these are the adults of social media coming into the world now. Yeah. So they're gonna make some different decisions. They're gonna have some different viewpoints because again, they had a choice of what to watch. See, when we grew up, it was whatever mainstream media would let us see. But now that they're growing up, it's what mainstream media would let them see, plus these other people, and some of these people not even controlled. So there is options now, and I'm gonna say I think the Black Manosphere had a whole lot to do with this. At the end of the day, whether directly or indirectly, and a lot of people act like it's not a influence of the Black Manosphere, but you got to think about it. There's all these other people out here that create content too, but they think is, well, I don't want to be associated with the Black Manosphere, but I want to do what they do. That's still an effect of the Black Manosphere at the end of the day.
Yeah, those are what you call thieves.
That's
what you call.
I agree with you.
So the Black Manosphere is having a major impact on the world. And social media just allowing us to have a major impact on the world just a lot quicker than it was back in the day. So, I know people want to argue, about who did this and who said no. The only thing that's important is what we do with it. Okay, anybody can make a bat, but when you hitting the baseball with it, it's a much different context than me beating you upside your head with it. Now, what was the intended purpose? One thing. What I end up using it for is going to be another thing, and there's a whole different set of circumstances depending upon how I use this thing that was made. Because at the end of the day, it's still just a bat. It's still just an invention that was made to do some particular thing. It's how I use that bat that's going to make a difference.
Well, you know what? I'm your nigga in the field with the microphone, keeping it real. So I'm gonna go do some interviews and shit, talk to some of my little homies and all that, ask them how they feel about it and all that, and I'll get back to you by next week and tell you what if it's catching on or if it's just something. But like I said, I hope, man.
Okay. Well,
with the wheel, you forgot the part with the wheels of steel.
With the wheels of steel, keeping it real.
Makes it a lot easier to get around. All right. Well, I think we're going to close it out right here, y'all, because we about to hit that 3-hour mark. We about to hit it anyway. So I think this is going to be a good place to close it out. So what I'm going to do is anyone like to make some last words in here? Anyone want to give some last words?
I'll go. Can you hear me?
You got it.
Philadelphia. Looks like Baltimore. It's hard to be a Plutonian, man.
very hard. Work hard on yourself, become the best Kryptonian possible, and what you have to prove as your counterparts are just a bunch of bottom shelf Lois Lane with kryptonite laced blood trying to drag you down, and sometimes even permanently depower you. So, unfortunately, man, you can never elevate a space level low strength to Kryptonian level. So, you know, you gotta leave them behind, man. You gotta travel to another galaxy, get your counterpart, your female counterpart. Don't worry about Lois Lane. She can walk, she'll be fine. As a Kryptonian, you'll keep flying in none of your own business.
Okay, shout out to you,
You
brother.
know, you posted the Afro Nash. Yeah, man, that's a great comment. Man. That's something that I mean, and this kind of addresses what.
Well, let me read it real quick. Let me read it real quick so everyone know what we're referring to. Uh, uh, Now, well, I'm gonna say Afro Merchant because that was his new name. Afro Merchant says, "I remember a few years ago, a brother commented that high schools would listen to your show in the lunchroom." All right, go ahead, Black Guru.
Well, and here's the thing where we don't know. For all we know, one or several of those brothers now who are, I guess, might be grown or adult or certainly older men, they may have presence in social media that have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or more followers. We don't know that, and that's what I was trying to explain to the contrary uh, brother earlier. That you what you don't know is there's an influence that extends beyond what is right before your eyes in this environment. Somebody will pick up a phrase and then somebody else will adopt that phrase. And then the third person who got that phrase has 500,000 followers. And then now he's using that phrase regularly on his channel. Now you don't know, nobody knows anything about that first guy, might never know anything about that first guy. But his influence is magnitudes greater than his anonymity. And that's the part about this phenomenon that I don't think certain people fully appreciate. Now, I think smarter people actually do appreciate it. That's why they make a lot of moves to try to sabotage certain influences in this area, unfortunately, because the magnitude of a thing can have a multiplying effect vastly greater than what is immediately associated with.
Well said. Well said. All right, y'all. I done muted everybody else's mics, but is there anybody who want to make a comment before we get out of here?
Yeah, I want to say something real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna do a little black magic real quick. I don't want to see no black women trying to do the equivalent of what these young boys is doing. I don't want to see nobody trying it. Let them do their own thing. All right. And keep up the good work, brothers. Y'all do your thing out there. Get your quarters. It's like True Teller said, get them cashmeres too. Them cashmeres are smooth. That's a smooth move right there. So yeah, definitely do your thing. Stay positive and think positive and start eating positive too. And that'll be everything right there.
Yeah.
I got one more thing to say. I'm very proud of these brothers. Because basically say, look, we're tired of the situation that is going on right now among black men and everything. So I'm going to be different. I'm going to be different. I want to look good. I want to feel good. I want to walk around the street with confidence and everything else. You know what? The hell with some of these people who sit there saying, "Oh, you guys are corny or phony" and all that type of stuff. So that's what I got to say.
And I'm gonna say to repeat what the Great Black Reset said. If y'all see one of these brothers walking around, man, say something to him, man. Give him the big ups. Shake his hand. Tell him you with him. Tell them you appreciate them. Because y'all got to remember, when y'all were children, somebody said something to you that you probably really didn't even know. And that one little thing he said that you met him at that one little time had a big impact in your life. That's who you are now. You are the person that can do that for somebody else. Don't forget that and use it wisely. And that's real talk. Y'all, so we're going to close it out here. If y'all are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We do this at 9 a.m. Monday through Fridays. 9 a.m. Monday through Fridays. I will see y'all next time around. Long live the Habitual Line Steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.